primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger, roll, Discovery.
Post-apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
This week's topic, Ouija Boards. Harmless parlour trick or demonic portal?
Shitty plastic board game mass-produced for profit.
Yes,
Option C.
that also. But before that, we will thank some new and returning listeners and do some weird news.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at who's in the top 50 this week. I'll read them all, obviously.
Number
you know
one.
the drill by now, listener.
Number 1, me mum.
Yeah, number 1, my mum.
Thanks, mum.
Number 2, my mum.
Number 3, Gaz's mum. I want the mums. Alright, anyway, there's oh my god, what the how do you say that? Polton Le Lead in the United Kingdom. I've never even fucking heard of that.
Files, I think it is. Porton Le Files.
Whatever. Denver, Colorado. Portland, Oregon. Erkath in Germany. Guadalajara, Spain. Brisbane, Australia.
Brisbane.
Oh yeah, Brisbane, sorry. Brisbane. I'm not even that drunk.
You're just that stupid.
It's been a long time
sorry.
since I've seen Brisbane written down.
Sorry.
Welcome, Brisbane. Cut that.
No.
Fucking
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Brockton, was MA. Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. The French one, Angoulême.
Close enough.
Close enough. Santa Ana, California. Lansdowne, PA, Pennsylvania. Yes.
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa,
Florida man.
Florida man's listening, love it. Islington, United Kingdom. Ashburn, Virginia. Benton, Arkansas. Into the top 10. We've got Seattle, Washington. Cologne, Germany. Wow, guten Tag to you. Burgess Hill in the United Kingdom. Bengaluru in India. Little Rock, Arkansas. And still top for I have no idea how many weeks now. Shady Nash, New York. And where are you, Flint, Michigan?
Dead.
Oh, you in?
And now we've lost him completely.
You heard the Johnny
Lead
Cash
poisoning.
song? Have you heard the Johnny Cash song, Don't Go Near the Water?
Oh, I don't think
Don't
I've read that
go
one.
near the water,
No, I
children. The water isn't water anymore.
The fuck is it?
It's horrific though.
It's
isn't
about
it?
being polluted. He wrote it in the 80s. It's a good song, man. It's about he's like
So
singing.
Johnny Cash is okay to talk about pollution and climate change, but Greta isn't.
Yeah, because he was doing it in the 80s, and he was,
Ah.
you know. Also, I discovered I haven't heard
Was
it.
Johnny Cash woke?
Yeah, he was pretty woke, man. He went and lived in Jamaica. Got
For the
robbed,
drugs?
Got robbed, but then sort of forgave the people who robbed him. Anyway, apparently this exists. Johnny Cash reading the entire fucking Bible.
Wow.
It's like days long. I couldn't give two fucks about the Bible, but I'll listen to it. Johnny's fucking reading it. I bet that's ace.
Yeah.
I bet he does voices and.
I don't think he does voices.
And then Moses said.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm not a Bible guy by any stretch of imagination, but
Maybe
you know what?
actually, do you know what?
I might give it. You know what? I'd skip forward to Revelations, Gaz.
Do you know what? I tell you what. I'll listen to it over a week while at work, just to have the smugness of being able to say to quote, I'm doing air quotes, Christians, I've actually fucking read the entire thing. Have
Well,
you?
Johnny Cash read it to me.
Technically, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
yeah, that's cooler.
I've heard the whole thing actually. So yeah, I'll tell you in Corinthians 12 number 4. Actually, a boy named Sue.
Say my name is Sue. How do you do?
Now you gotta die, Jesus. That's what I told him. It's fucking ace.
I love a boy named Sue. It's great. It's fucking
I used to do
brutal.
that on karaoke. It's not quite singing. It's talking in a cowboy voice.
That's what I would do. Should I stay or should I go?
Oh,
Because
dude.
it's just talking, that, isn't it?
Jesus
bit of a
Christ, I
little-
can't imagine you after your usual 18 pints. Should I stay or should I?
No, I'm usually at the 10-pint mark. I do karaoke.
It's only leaving.
Anyway,
I've only done karaoke once. We did it together, didn't we?
that was Steve who did Bohemian Rhapsody.
It was with
Christ.
Kane, and we did Bon Jovi.
Oh no.
Yeah, you dragged me up because I was drunk because I hate Bon Jovi.
Blaze
better.
of Glory.
But that sounded awful.
Oh, it
Oh
was.
God,
We're
it's
going down.
3 drunk blokes who can't sing. Well, 2
Blaze
can't.
glory.
Yeah, Kane could actually sing, to be fair.
Fair
Our
play.
friend Kane, he was a vocalist for a brief period.
A
He had a
little,
passable voice.
a little rock man.
Little rock man. He's a little rock man. Alright, let's do weird news. This will take about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we'll crack on to the main cut and thrust of today's topic.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Judge demands answers from Jeffrey Epstein's estate after millions of dollars flood into his dormant offshore bank in the Virgin Islands in the month following the paedophile's death.
Fuck's sake.
I think the headline pretty much sums everything up, but we'll go into it a little
So
bit.
who has access to that then?
Well, he's probably his partner,
Right.
who's a Maxwell, and obviously if you're of a certain age, you remember Robert Maxwell, the press tycoon in the UK, who basically defrauded his company's pension scheme, then, I'll put air quotes in, fell off his boat, and they never found the body. That's his daughter, who's married, who was Epstein's partner.
And procuring children for him as well.
Mm.
She was the procurer, wasn't she?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Millions of dollars that were sent from the estate of disgraced billionaire paedophile Jeffrey Epstein into a bank he owned but appeared to have never operated as a business has raised questions from a judge overseeing a court case over his remaining assets, which I would imagine are plenty.
Shouldn't they be seized now by the US government?
You'd have thought so. Maybe they should just investigate that black book he had instead of worrying about his finances.
You're more than a number in my little black book.
You're very singy tonight.
Sorry.
In a hearing yesterday in the Virgin Islands over the disgraced financier's remaining assets, Judge Carolyn Herman Purcell told lawyers representing his estate she wasn't satisfied with their account of large sums being sent to a bank set up by the paedophile in 2014.
It had to be the Virgin Islands, didn't it?
Well, if you got enough money, they'll take... Al Pacino was dumping his money in the Caribbean, in Scarface.
No, a pedo having money in the Virgin Islands.
Oh!
Fuck me, Ben. How slow are you?
Virgin on the ridiculous. I tell thee.
I don't know, finishing the joint, give me a sec. The judge had been tasked with assessing Epstein's assets and possibly creating a victims fund for the women he assaulted. In documents presented to the judge, transactions show a series of multi-million-dollar payments from Epstein's estate to his bank, Southern Kempty International, after his death. Alleged death.
Oh no, he's dead.
Yeah,
I'm
think
not
he's
sure if
dead.
he is. I think he's been replaced. I think they got a lookalike to come in.
That's too much effort, mate. He's a nothing man, isn't he?
He's got the money.
Doesn't matter.
He can have a new identity, make more money for them guys.
Oh, the people in power, they can't take the chance, mate.
I think he's been cloned by Queen Liz.
He knows
who's
the
in
rules,
the same
man.
place as Donny Marshall.
Oh, please don't tell me that him, Elvis and Tupac are sharing a fucking underage girl somewhere.
It's a possibility.
No, it's not. Not Elvis.
In,
No,
a,
actually, yeah, it
in, a
is
multi,
with Elvis.
in a multiverse,
It's
Gaz,
definitely
it's
possible.
happening.
No, Elvis used, I think, you know,
In a multiverse, it's happening.
Elvis was from Texas
Doesn't matter.
in the 50s. I think they didn't see anything wrong with marrying 14-year-olds. I found out something fucked up. Maybe we discussed this on the Japanese death cult. I don't know if we discussed it or not. The age of consent in Japan is 13.
No way.
13,
I
man.
don't recall discussing that.
No.
I couldn't
First
believe
I've heard
it.
that.
Somebody said it on a podcast that I was listening to because they were taking the piss out of a wrestler. This is dodgy though. Kenny Omega wrestled a 13-year-old Japanese girl in Japan a
Right.
few years ago, and like
Did she get the 1, 2, 3 kid surprise win by any chance?
No, it was very hilarious. I hated it. He kicked her in the face and pinned her, but she did actual moves on him and stuff. Ridiculous. I hated it. Anyway, she's now the AEW champion. She's about 19 now. Right. So people are joking, and he's in charge of the women's division, and she's shit. Everyone's like, he's banging her. He's probably banging her when she was 13, because that's the age of consent over there. And I was like, bullshit. And I fucking Googled it there and then. And I was like, holy fuck.
Wow.
Lock up your fucking daughters if you live in Japan, Jesus. Well, hopefully everyone's so polite that they don't try and fuck your 13-year-old daughter.
You'd hope so.
Hopefully. What if the triads come round?
Well, there you go.
Oh, God.
Are you sure about that?
Fucking Google it now.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it? We'll do some live research.
We've said enough about that. There's something dodgy going on.
Well, now I'm going to be a list in fucking Google because I've asked it twice in a few days. Yeah.
He's got a point.
What is the age of consent in Japan? Under age 13.
Fuck.
Wow.
See?
Under age 13. That's lower than 13.
Oh, sorry. Japan, no, it's 13. Japan's statutory rape law is violated when an individual has consensual sexual contact with a person under age 13.
Fuck.
It's the lowest of any developed country.
Wow.
But it's not the lowest in the world. 11 somewhere in Africa. Yeah, so that's my fucked up fact of the week.
Wow, that is a fucked up fact.
And
Then
Kenny
again,
Omega's
Africa-
probably a nonce.
In Africa, I'm not condoning it, but I mean, the life expectancy in that country is probably about 28.
Doesn't mean you're going to be
In
like,
some
fuck my
countries,
11-year-old.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
Well, the thing is, if
Different
it's-
cultures, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
If you've got a
yeah,
lifespan of 28 years.
Hey, remember, back in Europe in the medieval times, I mean, as soon as a girl had a period, she was a woman, then she could be married off to a 50, 60-year-old man who's secured a border or brought a peace. Doesn't matter, she's a woman now. Off you trot.
You could swap her for 2 pigs.
Yeah, or a peace treaty.
Them were the days. Anyway,
Bit dodgy that article, isn't it?
everything about it
Yeah.
connected to it. We'll never know the fucking truth, and maybe it'll come out in like 20 years or something.
It'll never
I
come
don't
out.
know.
It'll never come out.
It's so murky. There's too many powerful people. The Clintons are involved, for fuck's sake.
That little black book will never be investigated.
If this is your first episode, check out one of our more popular episodes, the Clinton
Clinton
kill list, or body count, whatever we called it. Because when we were researching that one, as we found, a lot of that stuff's hard to find on the internet now, isn't it?
It is.
Certainly all missing off YouTube. Anyway, what's next?
Next up, man who says he's a werewolf stabs his vampire mom to death.
It's Underworld.
It's fucking stupid.
Well, yeah, it is, but obviously he's got some kind of mental illness and thinks Underworld's real.
He's got werewolf stabbyitis.
I'm sure that's a recognised condition. Go on then, Mike.
On Sunday afternoon, police received a call from Smith rambling about werewolves and vampires from a home in Bellingham, Washington. Authorities arrived to find his mother, 57-year-old Aurora Burrell Smith,
Bowie? I don't know, it's a...
dead from stab wounds. A knife was found at the crime scene and Smith was taken into custody. Bellingham police tweeted on Sunday there was also a sexual motivation for the stabbing. Eesh. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine if the victim has been sexually assaulted.
I never want to get a sexual stabbing.
No.
The defendant admitted to police that he's been using a lot of meth recently,
No shit.
which is the reason for the voices in
No,
his
you
head.
probably don't if you've been doing a lot of meth. Get very bunged up.
I bet he didn't have a light bulb pipe.
He had a knife pipe.
He had a knife pipe, yeah. Out the handle, he'd hollowed it out. Stuffed it full. Oh.
Sheehan Smith, 29, told police he killed his mom because she's a vampire.
And he's a werewolf.
Yeah, and he's been charged with second-degree murder. His bail was set at $1 million.
Wow.
Well, he's not getting
He's
out.
not, he's not getting out.
Fucking methy werewolf boy doesn't know anyone with £1 million, does he?
Meth werewolf boy, his vampire mom, he ain't getting out of shit, is he? He's fucking nailed on.
I don't know, next full moon he's going to break out.
Shit. If you were the governor, just to calm him down, if it was a full moon, would you put like an extra guard outside his door?
You just tranquilise him, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think an extra guard's going to help. It's a werewolf.
They can't afford
We
them.
give him silver bullets, didn't you?
Well, he
You
could
don't
be,
want to encourage the fucker. You don't go along with his
Just to keep him
delusions,
calm,
Ben.
though.
That's not how you treat mental people. A bullet to the back of the head. That's it.
I was going to say that's how everyone's treated me. He's plastic, he's scared. It's all
You ever
right.
plan on killing anybody, kill them with a silver bullet, and then claim they were a werewolf?
Boom. There you go.
Don't think that's
Drag a
like Ben.
bloody sheep's carcass. Put a bloody sheep's carcass next to them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Foolproof.
Foolproof. And remember, there's no smoke without fire. The British justice system.
Will it work if you kill someone and you just say, he fucked kids? Will you get a lesser sentence?
Depends who it is. I might get away with it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, would the jury be like, oh, he had good reasons. Do you know what I mean? I was cleaning up the neighbourhood.
Oh, the classic Sean Bean film,
Would it-
Vigilante.
Yeah, with that,
Was it
with that.
Vigilante? What the fuck was that film called?
It sounds like something where someone would be, taking
Yeah.
sort of the law into their own hands.
Outlaw.
A la a vigilante.
Outlaw.
Death Wish.
Oh.
No.
No, no, but Death Wish is the...
You exactly
Yeah.
say,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the same.
Well,
Bruce Willis' version of that isn't horrific.
it's quite good actually.
Yeah.
The remake, yeah,
Yeah.
it's alright. He's quite good in it. Oh, Brucey baby.
Right, you ready for the next weird news?
I need to break wind. This has never happened on the show before.
No, it
I'm
hasn't.
scared-
None of us have ever
I'm
farted.
scared it's going to pick up on the mic, but maybe it'll disappear if I ignore it. I'm just warning you all. Sorry.
So you moan at me for belching.
I haven't
never
farted
on
yet.
mic.
No, none of us have farted on,
Well, not literally on mic, on a microphone. That would be wrong.
unless you paid me.
You made him.
That's your thing.
He's a deviant. All right
Aren't
then.
we all?
Guys, your article.
Fuck me. Dave
Dave Daubenmeyer.
Dave
The coach,
Dow- oh, yeah,
Dave
yeah,
Daubenmeyer.
yeah. I recognised his face when I saw this. I was like, is that?
Yeah.
And then it was, yay. Coach Dave hopes to sue the NFL for putting his eternal salvation at risk with the Super Bowl halftime show.
Now, I did not watch the Super Bowl, I'll admit, but I saw some pictures on Facebook of it, and there was J-Lo and Shakira dancing around provocatively. Looked very nice. I didn't
First
have an
time I've
issue
heard
with
of it. I know the Super Bowl, but it's the first time I've heard of this halftime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, once a year, right?
I know.
They play this awful sport that's like rugby for weaker people who have to wear body armour. You know, they have this, and then there's always the big halftime show. And last year it was Maroon 5, and all the women were up in.
And the players
Well,
beat the shit
literally-
out of their wives in lifts.
Yeah.
That guy did.
And
A
also,
lot of controversy surrounds the NFL. A lot of
Yeah.
their players are absolute fucking idiots. A bit like footballers, young men with shitloads of money. They were the fucking high school football star. They've had smoke blown up their ass their entire lives. They think they're above the law and can do whatever the fuck they want. But anyway,
some of them.
not all, but most.
I mean, Mike, you'd be a great defensive back in the NFL. You've only got to do 15 minutes at a time
Come
as
up to their
well.
fucking knees,
I know,
man.
yeah, but
They're
it-
fucking freaks.
I'm like 5'11", mate.
They're like 6'4".
Yeah, they
The
are big
little one.
dudes.
They're like corn-fed fucking.
Farm boys.
Brock Lesnar couldn't make it into the football world.
Really?
He left wrestling for a few years, and he tried to join a team, and he went in their training camp, and they didn't select him. So then he tried UFC. He wanted to do a real sport.
Yeah, but you make yourself very good at throwing a ball. I mean,
I've got a great wanking arm. I'd be a great quarterback.
That's the thing.
it's just your general lack of agility that you couldn't pirouette and throw it, could you?
I couldn't give a fuck about my
No,
football.
mate, it's a
It doesn't
fucking
look
terrible
appealing
sport.
at all.
I hate it.
And I like rugby, see, so you'd think.
Nah,
But it's
it's
completely
too different.
different.
It's too different.
I still don't understand
Every
it.
time someone makes a tackle, they stop the fucking game, and you're like, oh, what's this?
I genuinely don't understand it.
Someone try and grab the ball and stop the game. Anyway, enough of our anti-American football ranting. This
Anyway,
one's yours,
What
guys.
does Dave want to do? So, radical right-wing activist Dave spent most of his Past Assault Live webcast yesterday threatening to sue the National Football League for broadcasting unsolicited, quote, crotch shots into his home during the Super Bowl halftime show, thereby jeopardising his eternal salvation. I think we ought to sue, he said. Would that halftime show, would that have been rated PG? Were there any warnings that our 12-year-old son, whose hormones are just starting to operate... Stop thinking about that, you weirdo.
Yeah.
Was there any warning that he was going to see what might cause him to get sexually excited? I feel uncomfortable, Dave, so I don't know how your son feels hearing me say this. Fucking don't embarrass the lad. Can you imagine? He's 12, he's going to go to school now. Were you sexually excited by the halftime show? If he doesn't get enough shit already because his dad's a fucking kook on the internet. Because Coach Dave comes out with some utterly bananas. He's one of the more loopy people.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is your first episode, I suppose, very brief explanation. At the end of the show, we sometimes play a game called Never Go Full Alex, where we compare a couple of random idiots from the internet against Alex Jones himself and see who is talking the most shit. And this guy, Coach Dave, has beat Alex Jones some weeks.
Yeah, several times.
You know, this guy
mainly because he's an utter bigot as well, though. I mean,
he's a lunatic. Do you know what you could have done, Dave? Instead of staring at your son's crotch going, "Are you excited? Tell me, boy!"
while he had a raging boner himself.
Change the channel, you cock! I mean, half-time's pretty obvious, isn't it? They blow a whistle.
Yeah.
And coming up.
You've watched 2 quarters. They blow a whistle. You know, because it's a Super Bowl tradition, they have a halftime show that lasts for like 45 minutes.
Dancy titty pop star girls.
Yeah.
Or
Or
rock
half-naked tattooed men. Like the previous year with Maroon 5.
Fucking hell, Coach Dave, you got issues.
So he was
And to
okay
win
with the
this case,
half-naked
though-
tattooed man, even though tattoos are forbidden in Leviticus.
Mike, you're the science officer. This isn't really your jurisdiction, but will Coach Dave, in order to win this case, have to first prove to a court of law that A, God is real, so is heaven, and so was he already guaranteed salvation? Can he prove that seeing these panties have fucked his salvation?
He's
Good
crotch.
point, because they swear an oath to God in the Bible, don't they? So
Yeah, but is he a pastor?
Do
We don't know if he's actually an ordained man.
do the courts believe that God...
Well, they swear before God, don't they? Put
Oh,
your hand
they
on the
do?
Bible, swear
just
to tell the
say.
truth. Yeah.
Well, we don't have to really, I suppose, bother with the rest of this, to be honest, because I can tell you what's going to happen. I'm no expert on American football, but I do know that the NFL is a sort of multi-billion-dollar massive conglomerate of money. It's a giant empire, and it will squish this ant-like fucking cretin under its legal boot. If you've got enough money in America, you can keep someone that's got a name, but you can basically keep them in perpetual legal action.
Yeah.
He'll lose his fucking house.
And I tell you what, if God is going to stop someone from having eternal salvation because once they caught a crotch shot on television...
It gave my son a boner!
I say, imagine being at the pearly gate saying, "I've lived my life for you, God, I've done everything you wanted me to." But you once walked past that TV, you saw that guy's balls.
You saw,
Well,
you
that's
saw
why having
Shakira's
faith-
crotch shot and J-Lo pole dancing and you got aroused.
Well, nothing's easy.
Sorry, eternal damnation for you.
Oh!
Yeah, but if it was that easy then, Mike, anyone could be in there. You don't want it fucking full of any old
I know,
cunt.
by this point, it must be like a blind nun in Argentina is the only person that's going to be
That's
in there.
what, isn't it worth it though? That's the whole point, see, to have the faith to dedicate this life for what's going to happen in the next. Not that I give a fuck, but anyway, what I think Coach Dave's 12-year-old son should say to stop all this, to stop them losing their house in lawyers' fees and everything, ending up on the streets, is probably pull his dad to one side and go, "Dad, you know those crotch shots that I saw? Well, that's absolutely fuck all compared to the websites that I usually watch when you're in my... Have you heard of xhamster.com?
Oh no!
I mean,
No. His son will go to Christian school.
Christian, no.
Yeah, he won't be
Very-
into it. He'll be like,
he'd be
"Dad,
a-
I'm 12, mate. Fucking red tube, you fucking prick."
No. Their internet in their home would be fucking locked down.
Dave don't know how to do that. He's fucking...
He's posted a web.
He's
a
fumbling
YouTube
over his
fucking
living
show.
room during the half-time show with a phone in one hand and his boner in the other. "I need to talk to the NFL. I'm gonna sue him." He can't fucking control the internet at home. His son's into all sorts. His son's fucking doing rails of coke off a fucking stripper's ass using Coach
Or a
Dave's...
stripper's boner.
Yeah, using Coach Dave's fucking Christian money that he gets sent by his fucking crazy followers. Fuck Coach Dave.
Right, well, let's call a quick break and then we'll go on to Ouija Boards, the main cut and thrust of today's topic.
Oh, God.
Right, so let's talk about Ouija Boards, or Ouija Boards, or the talking board.
Doesn't talk though, does it?
Straight off the bat, no. But Enough people think it does.
I know.
Some people think it was named after a novelist called Ouija,
Oh, interesting.
or some theory is that the board spelled its own name.
Yes, I've got that. Also, it is apparently an ancient Egyptian
sounding.
term for good luck.
'Cause Egyptian was big back then.
Yeah. There's
In
all that
late 1890s.
Oh, they
and
loved
that.
it.
Yeah.
Everyone was finding stuff in Egypt.
All right, then.
My ancestor Howard Carter was getting the Tutankhamun tomb out.
Here's a slight little acting challenge for you all. How would Derek Acora say Ouija board?
Oh, I wouldn't have
Would
said
it be like, Ouija board? A Ouija board?
It would,
Ouija? A Ouija board?
He's dead now, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
They didn't
Alright,
say
Derek!
I'm going to channel the spirit of Derek Carter.
What was that name that you'd always say? Where he'd be
Sam.
Like, oh,
Sam.
Sam!
Sam.
Sam! Sam!
You'll never forget Mary Loves Dick.
Mary,
He was possessed by the ghost of Dick Turpin's ex-lover.
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick. Get out the Ouija board. Anyway, sorry.
If you're a listener who's not in the UK, just Google Derek Acora. He's a UK medium who got briefly famous on TV.
Now he's fucking dead.
Now he's dead. And he was also
All them people you conned, all their emotions you played on and took their money and fooled them that you were communing with their fucking dead relative and filled their head full of shit that they're in this place and that place. Now you're dead. Now you're worm food, you little fucking prick. Sorry.
And no one's calling you back.
Yeah. No one's reaching out to you.
That's a thought. Why you
Derek.
know what? I've got it. I've fucking got it.
We do a new series.
Yeah.
Communing with
with
Derek.
me, as like, I'll be the medium. Or actually, no, you can be the medium.
I'll
You're
try
better at the
Derek.
accent than I am.
Derek
you
says
me
he's
and my
sorry he touched them kids.
yeah. We'll do you. Derek Acura, because he's like a force ghost at this
Oh,
point,
fuck off.
talking to you.
Derek Acora Force
Right?
Of all the people, of all the dead celebrities, it's fucking Derek.
He's the only one powerful enough to come back from the dead.
Bet the
This
Jimmy
is how we'll
Savile,
spin
isn't
it.
Yeah, but not as good as Prince or someone though.
No, but this is how we'll spin it. He was the most powerful medium ever.
Right.
And he's the only one strong enough to force ghost himself into your brain.
Right.
And your vision, you just look off into the distance.
And we are going to use
Derek,
this
what are you saying?
as an opportunity to smear him, posthumously smear him.
Posthumously smear
He
him.
can't sue us, he's dead as fuck.
Smear him and make a fuck ton of cash.
Yeah, we'll sell that.
And they're not going to say you're lying because you're doing the thing that he said.
did,
that
yeah.
he did
Exactly.
live.
It's foolproof.
we'll sell it to-
Copyright us.
We'll sell it to Pick TV or whatever fucking obscure
Oh, yeah,
channel he was
Blaze.
on.
Channel 5 will put it on.
Yeah.
Prime
Derek.
time.
Prime time, probably 7 o'clock on a Thursday night.
I've always fancied me mum. Hey, I'm just reporting what he says to me.
Exactly. We'll just fucking do it. Right into the sun. We'll all fucking get in on it. I'm a medium. I'm channeling. They'd fucking buy that in an heartbeat.
Got it. Right.
Right. So Ouija boards, talking boards. Since the beginning of time, man has claimed to be able to communicate with the spirit world. However, it would not be until the heyday of the spiritualist movement, about 1848 to the 1920s, roughly.
A bit earlier in Europe.
A bit earlier in Europe, but that's probably the 1848. During the American Civil War, these things were about, and the Ouija boards, and after the American Civil War, people were like, oh, my son died at Gettysburg, I'll try and channel him on the Ouija board. This is how it started, the spiritualist movement.
Did you know there was a newspaper called the Banner of Light?
Wow.
It contained messages from the dead in it.
Jesus Christ.
It's no different than from now being subscribed to the conspiracy group.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Same thing. Can't blame them.
Now, a little bit of background to the spiritualist movement. Have you ever heard of Kate and Maggie Fox?
Did they play for Sheffield Wednesday?
They did not.
No, sorry.
They were the start of this. They basically said that there was a spirit in their house and they'd learned to communicate with it through a series of knocks and raps and cracks. They developed this code where they could communicate with this spirit in the house.
Was it Pipes?
No, it was actually them cracking their bones.
No,
and
Pipes the ghost.
Oh, oh.
Anyone ever
See?
watch that Halloween thing Michael,
Oh shit, Ghost Watch.
yeah, Ghost
Oh,
Watch.
but Craig Charles was involved.
Yeah,
That
Michael
scared the
Parkinson,
shit out of
me.
me as a kid.
The ghost
We
was
would have been
called
about
Pipes.
10, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
And me. That
Fucking
shape
zero.
in the corner of the bedroom.
Yeah.
Fuck with my head. I didn't know it was fake.
No one did until the very because
I still thought wrestling was
A
real.
lot of
do you know
people
what I
still
mean?
thought, even after
Yeah.
the credits and everything, they thought still real.
It
Phoned
wasn't-
into what was going on.
it was only till after the credits they put a disclaimer at the end saying this show was like fabricated. This is a work of
I
fiction.
don't think they did they?
No, they did, but it was after the credits when most people had stopped watching,
Yeah.
turned the channel over.
What an amazing time to be alive when we were 10. I believed that was real. I
Yeah.
genuinely believed at that point. Remember when Papa Shango, the witch doctor in the wrestling, he made the Ultimate Warrior projectile vomit and black shit poured down his head like that, down his face. And I didn't know what to make of that, 'cause I certainly didn't think it was a stage effect or it was fake. That didn't even cross my mind.
And we did a Ouija board, didn't we?
When we were younger, me,
Like
Mike,
14.
our friend Chris as well.
A few other friends, 14. We made it ourselves.
Yeah. Used upturned glass.
We did.
We didn't have a planchette, named after the guy himself, planchette.
Yeah.
Did you get the alphabet right?
Yes, we did.
Alright, just saying.
We were actually a bit older than 10. We were like,
I said 14.
You were
14,
17, holding hands.
I wanted to do a Ouija board tonight, but Gaz thinks it's bollocks, and Mike won't.
I'm not going to mess with the dead.
Mike's not messing with the dead. Our science officer is not messing with the dead.
Right, we did this Ouija board, didn't we?
We did.
We asked, is anyone there? Went to yes. And we said, okay, what's your name? Went to E and D.
Yeah, I was writing the letters down.
Yeah, I was the control asking the fucking questions.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, how old are you when you died? It went to 1 and 3. And we said, when did you die? And I think it went to like 1920 something.
1928, I think.
27, 28. At that point, we just freaked out and put it in the bin.
You know what happened, don't you?
Well, obviously now, being the learned, wise fella that I am,
Science
The trainee,
officer.
yeah. the
Science
Padawan.
officer of a semi-professional podcast.
but obviously the young 14-year-old at the time, it did get a bit freaked out.
Young, impressionable Mike, I
That's
imagine.
Go back to the Fox sisters. They knocked and rapped and cracked their way to. Honestly, they used to crack
It
their
sounded
bones.
like you said knocked and rapped and crapped.
Crack.
That sounds like the career of like Jazzy Jazz. Oh
He
dear.
cracked, he rapped, and now he's cracked.
Or Milli Vanilli.
Oh god. Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla
He's
Ice.
apparently doing quite well for himself now
Is he? Yeah.
in the
Good for him.
property business.
Poverty business.
Property.
Pro-
Yeah, poverty sells crack to poor people.
There's a mint to be made in that, mate. Look at the CIA.
Exactly.
Anyway, the Fox sisters basically conned everybody who came to see their amazing talent of communicating with this ghost. They worked out a series of raps and knocks.
Really? Is that because ghosts aren't real?
Yes.
Alright, okay.
But,
Just checking.
But they fooled everybody. It wasn't until later on in life that they confessed, because they had a terrible upbringing. They were doing this from like the age of 10 to 12 all the way through their adult lives. They became alcoholics, had several failed marriages, lost a lot of money. Literally on their deathbed they came out and said, you know, actually it was just us disguising the raps, the knocks. We were cracking our bones.
Do they have arthritis?
Well, it's 1848, everyone's bones are brittle then.
Half the people have got rickets.
That's it. But that didn't stop spiritism spreading. So then you get these home circles. People go there. They do the table lifting. You ever see the Darren Brown
Oh, yes.
show where he does a seance?
I know how that
That was
works.
a parlour
I'm clever.
trick. You know, this is a parlour trick. And the medium started doing automatic writing. Which they pretend to be possessed by a spirit, and then they write down everything it says. One female medium claimed to have wrote down, communed with Mark Twain, who had recently passed away, and then went, I wrote down this tale, it's Mark Twain's story, and people who read it said, that's not Mark Twain, it's shit.
Not the only person was another novelist, Pearl Curran,
Yeah.
and she said that she wrote them channeling her Ouija board from the spirit called Patience Worth.
Yes, she wrote under that name as well,
that
didn't
was a
she?
spirit, apparently.
Yeah.
Wrote all his novels for him.
Who's recently died? Kobe Bryant. I'm going to commune with him. Oh, he's humming a tune. Sorry, that was a helicopter joke. Anyway, moving on.
I was going to go darker than that, but I'm not going to now.
What, Black Hawk Down?
No, there's something about his alleged sexual misconduct.
Oh, he's a bit rapey.
Yeah.
That's probably why the helicopter
He can
crashed.
spin a basketball on one finger and rape a chick, is what I was going to say.
But
But
he was maybe probably trying to rape the pilot. Couldn't help himself. Just wait till we land, Kobe. Oh, I should cut this. That's too
yeah,
soon.
cut that bit out. Yeah.
Nah, don't.
No, do.
It'll be 2 weeks before it comes out. He'll forget.
So, as part of the spiritualist movement, mediums are going to employ various means for communication with the dead. And certainly, as I said earlier, following the American Civil War, mediums did significant business in allowing family members to contact dead relatives. A lot of dead fathers, brothers, sons, and civilians in that war. The Ouija board was therefore, it's just a flat board, flat wooden board, marked the letters of the alphabet, the numbers 0 to 9, the words yes and no, hello and goodbye. I'm sure most of you already know what it is, but
They were called talking boards.
talking boards, yes. Ouija board wasn't patented until 1890.
1891, I
1891.
Elijah Bond
Yeah,
and Charles
that's it,
Kinner.
yeah. That's it. So yeah, it's a parlour game, but spiritualists took it very seriously. And the Catholic Church and other Christian denominations have warned against Ouija boards, saying they can lead to demonic possession. Occultists, on the other hand, are divided on the matter, but warn inexperienced users about using it.
Get a fucking nasty splinter.
Yeah. Now, hang on. Mr. Crowley
Yes.
firmly believed it was a portal to the other
He
realms.
believed a lot of things, Ben.
He certainly did. But
Some
while
of
he
them-
was having his sex magic, he being the champion power bottom that he is, he was probably communing with the spirits on a board, telling him when he was gonna orgasm. Who knows? But he loved it. He well, he didn't love it, but he said yes, it is a portal.
Imagine being rimmed by 1,000 ghosts.
Wow.
Well, it would be fine because they're not real. Sorry.
Imagine if you're getting fucked by a ghost and so you walk in and you can just see someone's ass all open.
And the depressions of testicles on their butt cheeks.
And you'd hear the slap.
Now, alright, guys, I want you to consider something. So,
You know the joke, don't you? About the invisible man.
yeah,
We've had it.
yeah. So, who do you consider more credible in terms of the arcane? Crowley or noted fraudsters Ed and Lorraine Warren? Who's more knowledgeable in the esoteric
Oh, that's
element?
like choosing between fucking. Oh, do you want me to punch you in the face? Or the other side of the face? But they're all fucking a bit shitty and weird, aren't they?
Oh, Crowley's fucking. He knew what he was on about. He certainly thought he did. These two are
He was
noted
a drug-addled, sex-addicted fucking lunatic, man. Who went through fucking rent boys like they were fucking chocolate bars.
Or Ed
And goats.
And goats and coke.
And Ed and Lorraine Warren. Noted
Well,
fraud.
it's him, isn't it? Obviously it's Crowley, but
He knows more about this shit than them two.
it's a best of a bad bunch, though, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, so yeah, they warned against using them, hence the recent film Ouija, or Ouija, however you want to say it, where everything goes to shit. Now the name Ouija comes from the French and German words for yes, oui, and the German word ja.
Wow.
Wow, just in case you didn't know.
Ouija.
Now actually, they claim the board itself chose the name. Because it was just the talking board. That was the name, one of the names for the witch board as well. But the talking board, and the things have been around for fucking centuries. But it's claimed the board chose its own name.
It's for fuck's sake, well, they're very
Is he
lucky
half
that...
French, half German, but it's a ghost?
Maybe.
Or the board.
Oh, he was Swiss guy from Switzerland.
Could have been.
Speaks French and German.
Well, they're lucky that this ghost came up with like a
Catchy
marketable, catchy, sort of clever little name and didn't just spell out like cunt waffle or something. Do you know what I mean?
Daddy,
Give me a cunt waffle board.
Can we play the cunt waffle board? Shitty gullible piss weasel board.
It was quite expensive at the time. It was like $1.65 back in like before dollars became. So you know, so back in the late 1800s, 1890, it was like $1.25. That was a lot of money back then.
We should have done what we did and made our own.
Exactly, on a shitty. Oh fuck! I remember now.
What
it was a
table
fucking.
did you put
It
on?
was a It was a kitchen cupboard door. The back of that, and the glass kept on moving dodgily. We should have realised it was all bollocks then.
Your mate Chris going like this.
No.
Nobody touched it.
Part of my thing was not only did I write down the letters, I also observed for visible signs of pushing. Because
So you wrote every single letter without looking up, without looking down.
It was going quite slowly because the board was really shit. It was the back of a kitchen door, kitchen cupboard door. It was like terrible construction. That was it, though, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, pieces of paper with the letters.
No, we didn't have the
numbers
piece of
written
paper. We just had the letters cut out.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
A piece of paper.
No, you said a piece of paper is one thing. We didn't. We had the letters cut out, arranged around the board.
You'd listen to what I'm saying.
Oh.
Can you smell toast?
Yeah.
Have you had a fall recently?
I don't know. Maybe last Saturday. Yeah, maybe.
He just having to repeat things like we're podcasting with our nan. We're going to have to get one of them funnel things, stick it in your ear. Yeah.
His eyes are already going because he can't see the screen, but he doesn't bring his glasses.
I can see the screen.
Yeah, but you can't see the fucking letters on the screen. We can all see the screen. It's fucking 46 inches.
I can see the letters on the screen. It's fine.
They're all blurring to one.
My eyes might be deteriorating slightly.
We're all deteriorating rapidly. When we go over the precipice. When we get of 40, if we don't start drastically changing our lifestyle, our early 50s are going to be incredibly miserable.
I have started changing my lifestyle.
We need to change it more.
So I'm one night a week.
Should be no nights away. Anyway, let's not get into it. Let's finish the Ouija.
Right. So sales peaked during the 1960s more than anything.
It had a comeback.
It did have a massive
call it a comeback.
because Vietnam's on as well. Remember? But it became.
Oh, so a lot of dead. Is it correlating with lots of dead relatives?
Yeah.
Wars and stuff.
Yeah. Boosted by the counterculture and interest in the occult, so the hippies are buying it too. And it actually outsold Monopoly.
It did, yeah. 1 point in 16.
Yeah. But
It's amazing considering that was such a Christian country at the time, America, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gather round, family, and commune with the dead spirits on the other side of the dimensional void.
it's like an occult thing. It probably would have been advertised. It was one things you walked into the toy shop and saw.
Well, it's like the hippies were rebelling against society.
Yeah, that's also a
And
valid
the
point.
Christian culture, so
And
one way of
so-
doing that is to get the Ouija board in it.
Yeah. And there's still to this day people who will not have one of these things in their house.
It is a big taboo.
It
In America.
seems to be, yeah.
Don't think so much here.
No, but it's not really. Yeah, we've put most of us have done one at some point.
No one gives a fuck about
But we
God
don't really
in
care,
England.
do we? We're not
No,
bothered.
in America,
Even the
it's still-
people in villages, in the parishes, they're only fucking pretending to have the position. No one really gives a fuck about God in this country.
Yeah.
That's my observation. I mean, I'm sure somebody who could now message you, I really do care about God, actually, and I'm very English.
Someone probably will.
But fuck that imaginary person.
Yeah, the church I mean at Easter, when when I used to go there as a kid, I went to CV school, Church of England school.
To suck off the priest. Sorry.
We're not Catholic, Gaz.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And every certain religious occasion, they'd march the entire school down in shifts. And we'd all sit there and listen to the service.
You'd service him in shifts. This man was insatiable.
But that was it. That was the only time you ever went.
Yeah.
It was mental. And that's just me being in a religious school.
I went to midnight mass once as an adult.
Did you?
It was bollocks.
Suck off the priest or?
No, there's too many families there. It wasn't
Families
appropriate.
keep their children past midnight with a priest.
Well, yeah, they're mental, aren't they? It seemed like a good idea at the time, so I was tanked up. Yeah, I'll go with the family, and yeah, it was shit. It was
So the language you can understand.
It was wank. It was like being at church in the day, only it was night. They were all doing a...
Did you get communion or?
I can't remember what happened, mate. This was a decade ago.
Fair enough. Right. Anyway, it was
Who are you?
it was William Peter Blatty's 1971 novel *The Exorcist* that launched the Ouija board, and the 1973 film. Sorry, that launched the Ouija board into popular culture and cemented this image of it as being a gateway to hell.
1985 classic Witchboard.
Which you watched?
Yeah, there's a couple of sequels as well. I haven't seen the sequels. I watched it as a kid. It was shit.
Nah, well, I'm not gonna argue. I've never seen it.
If the most dramatic thing that happens is a fucking glass moves on a table, then it must be...
No, there's like a demon or something,
Oh.
and
I assume
I can't remember
you've seen The Exorcist.
Yes.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Never.
Never seen it.
Wow.
Never got round to it. Yeah, I've seen that.
I can understand why that film was scary in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
But nowadays,
It's not pleasant, but
It's not.
like-
It's not a pleasant film to watch, but the effects, it's practical effects,
Yeah,
and they
we're
have
looking at it
aged a
with-
little bit, and
Yeah.
we're looking at it through these.
If we were, because people that talk about it at the time, I've even had this conversation with my dad. He watched it once and I'll never vowed to never watch it again.
Really,
One of them things, and he doesn't like horror films to this day, so maybe that's got something to do with it. And I've heard other people say that. If we were there at the time, I bet we'd be the same, because there was
Yeah.
nothing else like it before it.
no, there wasn't. This is.
It really fucked people up. People
Yeah.
were getting, like, having fits and, like,
Fuck.
things and
Yeah,
leaving the
yeah,
cinema,
theatre, yeah.
throwing up and, yeah.
No, horror films never really bothered me.
Plus,
I
well, it
used
was
to
the
watch them all
anti-religion.
time.
It was the religious
Yeah.
element
Yeah.
to it as well, like basically, because it seemed, I guess, plausible. Is that what happens when someone's fucking possessed? Like she's projectile vomiting and her head's twisting around.
And she's doing the
fucking
backwards.
a fanny with a.
Yeah, she's literally banging.
I've
her-
seen the main clips,
Yeah.
but I've
And
never
remember,
seen some
she's
more.
going in the extended cut. She goes down. She walks on the corridor on a backwards
Yeah, it's
crab,
horrible.
and it's
like
freaky
Bray
as
Wyatt.
fuck.
Yeah.
It is, I mean,
But
it's,
you're right. Watching it with today's sensibility, you're like, come on, it's still not.
Yeah, it's like
pleasant,
Human
you know.
Centipede, is it?
Oh, I'm not going to
No.
ever watch that. I
No,
know
I've
the
never seen
premise.
it.
Because
No,
of the
neither have
premise.
I.
Do you ever listen to Richard Herring's podcast?
I do sometimes, yeah.
He's got a book of emergency questions, Ben, and it's actually published. You can buy it. It's quite good. It's supposed to be for dates and things like that.
Yeah, it's like one of
Right.
them.
He goes-
Would you rather have a hand of ham or a,
Yeah, or an armpit that dispenses.
yeah, salad cream?
No, a sun cream.
Yeah, that's it.
But one of his newer ones is so you're in the middle of a human centipede, but you get to choose who's in front of you and who's behind you. And he asks this of like incredibly famous and distinguished people.
Wow.
Just in the middle. It's kind of his gimmick. Like the conversation's going well. They've said something profound, and he's like, "Right, time for an emergency question." Yeah. So I don't know. Who would you have in front and behind you? You got to think about it. In front, you want some
I've
sort
never-
of vegan. No, not
Yeah.
a vegan. You want a supermodel who shits like a rabbit,
yeah.
right? And,
No,
who,
I don't
and
care
you
what-
wouldn't mind the view.
And the person that I'm
Behind
behind,
you,
I couldn't
like
give two
Boris.
fucks about.
Boris or somebody like
Yeah, I
that.
couldn't give two shits who's behind me.
Well, you will be giving shits.
Well, I will be exactly, but I want a vegan in front of me who's
No, that could be
who's
worse.
very little.
No, you want a supermodel who eats paper
Yeah.
and then bulimias it back up because that's what she
Oh
has to
yeah.
do to stay
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, you want to believe it. Or an anorexic in front of you, to be fair. Anyone with an eating disorder, you want in front of you. Let's face it. Yeah.
I know we might not be the world's best podcast, but I sometimes do think we might be the world's most offensive. We're literally making absolutely zero effort to like. We're not even trying to be woke up aggressive. I love it because we're old.
I suppose it's relative to, I mean, we're 30, 36, 37, 37 in March for me, you're 37 next week, Gaz, Mike,
Yeah.
you're 37 already,
38 now.
38.
37. It's a close
I mean,
joke.
it's like, we're approaching 40 and it's tragic.
Nah.
I've
magic.
thought about it this week.
It's mighty, it's magic, we're kings, we get fine, like a fine, was it,
But
wine.
we caught the tail end of this sort of wokeness, like, we just don't be cunts to each other. Like, so
It's simple. That's me. You don't need a
yeah, we
late.
caught the start of it because don't be cunts to each other. There you go.
You don't need to
And
join
now
a
it's-
cult.
Well, you want people to join your cult.
It's not real though, is it? I just want the money. I don't want
For your
to actually
birthday,
join.
I was going to join your cult.
Just give me the £2.
Alright then.
Thank you. I'm not printing you off a manifesto.
Oh.
That'll cost me nearly £2, and then I
Well,
haven't made a
I'll
profit.
give you
then.
£2.50.
You'll be lucky. You're still waiting for your Christmas present.
You bought him one?
I did, yeah. You
Oh,
buy me
shit.
one.
Right, come on then. Enough of our personal drama.
You guys know how to do Christmas. So yeah,
Miserable twat. We love you. We love you though.
So what happens if these boards do take a dark turn in the hands of the more, let's say, mentally suggestible?
Vegetables.
Suggestible.
Nimrods. Oh, somebody called me on Twitter. I had to look it up. Somebody called me a simp. S-I-M-P, and I was like, fuck's a simp?
What's a
Simpleton.
Yeah, Google it. It's
What's
just,
a
they've
Nimrod?
they've shortened a Nimrod's an idiot.
Ah.
But they literally have gone now, the youth on Twitter. They can't be asked to call you a simpleton. They've had to take off all ton. Simp.
Yeah.
They're literally getting to fucking, what is it, Gizzer
Gizzer.
levels.
Oh,
They're
shit,
literally fucking de-evolving. Simp! Simp! Oh, the fucking irony! And I told him,
Does this mean that one day we'll be the intellectual elders in society that are eventually overrun by
yes,
these people who go,
we'll have them on
"Simp."
chains.
Yeah, it'd be like that
We've got Planet of the Apes.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers when they just point and just scream.
Yeah.
That's what they're like now.
Yeah.
Wow. God, we sound old. But we're not.
Mate, I know I shouldn't watch this
We're old
stuff,
enough.
but there's a clip of some Republican students not doing anything illegal. They've just got a little table set up somewhere on campus, just doing what they do, you know? Nothing, not Nazis, nothing. Republicans, totally fine. A student walks past, and I am not exaggerating, he's a male, but he's screeching at the top of his voice in like a broken, like
Like
that.
Squeaky Voice Team, The Simpsons.
Like that kind of, but really loud. Republicans, slit your throats, slit your throats. Ah! Right, like he's having a full-on meltdown, and they're just like, "Have a great day, sir." Okay, and he's like, "That's normal," and everyone's just walking by like
Wow.
on their daily
But if
student
that was,
business.
imagine someone doing that, like when we're in college. We just like,
He'd probably get fucking rugby tackled.
Yeah,
Right?
probably.
Like, get the medical staff. But
yeah.
no, it's just totally normal. I love that nobody stopped to look either, and nobody said anything. Like everyone just carried on walking by.
Oh,
Just totally normal autistic meltdown, just for seeing
I suppose you don't
Republicans.
know what his mental condition is, do we?
Should he be out on his own like that then? He
Not
can
if
go
he's
and buy
doing that.
guns. He's allowed to buy fucking AR-15s.
Fuck.
He is.
Oh
yeah.
shit! You know that American college girl who was like carrying her AR-15 across her back in college because she could. Did you ever see her?
No.
Oh, she was Gun Girl. She does these Instagram
Has she been
videos.
shot?
No,
Oh.
but she interviewed this one guy and he was just like,
I know exactly what about
Yeah.
blonde hair.
Yeah,
She
she's
interviews
quite
people on
hot.
campus,
But-
but she's a dick.
yeah, she's an absolute dick. And there was a photo emerged of her at a party having shit herself, and it's like not even a small amount of shit. It's like the biggest shit you've ever seen.
Ah, wow. She's a dick. I saw a video with her. She was interviewing people at a protest, like Democrats, and obviously she's Republican. And she like insulted some big fat lady based on her weight, which I suppose I've just done as well, which I didn't mean to. But and the lady like gets in her face, the big lady, and she's like, "What did you say to me?" And then the little reporter girl's like, "You know I open carry, right?" Uh-huh. And then like so the big lady backs off, and it's like, "Oh, you little prick!" So you go and say really insulting things to people, and then when they get annoyed, go, "I've got a gun." Like,
That was this guy. She was like, I met trans people using bathrooms, using.
oh yeah, I've seen that one. No one
And
gives
he's
a
like,
fuck,
and
do
he's
they?
just like, I don't care.
No one
and
gives
she's
a
trying
shit.
to goad him into like giving an answer. He's like, I'm not bothered. I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
None of them did they?
No.
She stopped like 4 or 5 lads in this clip, trying to goad people into like saying something, and they were all just like, "What's wrong with you?" Just like, "I don't care. I'm not interested in other people's bathroom habits. Why do you care?" Although I don't think they should. I did see a meme that I didn't share. It was a real sign from a protest of a person holding a sign that said, "I'm not a boy or a girl, where do I pee?" And then somebody had spliced next to it a picture of a litter tray. So, but I didn't share it because I don't want to upset anyone. You know me, Ben.
You're so tactful, Gaz.
Extremely.
It's your middle name, isn't it? Gareth Tactful Vincent.
I've been told, don't give away my full name, oh my god. I've been told, there seems to be a running theme this week, so I've been told by two separate people that I'm just not as funny as I think I am.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Girl at work told me off for being a cunt to posh lad. And I was like, I was only like, it was just gentle. And she's like, no, like, it was really fucking mean, like, and I don't think you realise that he can't handle it. And I'm like, it's just jokes.
Piss taking, it's character building.
Yeah, she's like, no, it's not, it's destroying him from the inside out. Well,
It's character building though. We had that. Our eldest took the piss out of us. Murs
in my head, I'm being funny, but apparently not.
Yeah, we've got
Apparently.
no psychological problems.
Exactly,
whatsoever.
we're totally normal.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just going to swig from this can.
Yeah. Back to the joint. So what does happen if these boards do take a dark turn? And we're going to read you some of the top Ouija board murders.
Oh, fuck.
The Carroll family. This one's England. On Christmas Eve 2014, Paul Carroll was...
2014?
Yeah! This is why I included it. Paul Carroll was using a Ouija board in his home in Consett, County Durham, United Kingdom. According to Carroll, he was trying to contact the dead when an evil spirit entered the family dog, Molly. Carroll, who has learning disabilities, then drowned the dog and dismembered the body.
Fuck's sake.
Afterward, he dumped the body in an outside drain, causing it to back up. When workers were brought in to fix the drain, they discovered the dog's body. Meanwhile, neighbours who had heard the story reported Carroll to the police, and he was arrested and charged with causing the dog unnecessarily suffering. Carroll pled guilty and received a suspended sentence, but the story took an even stranger turn in January 2015. Just a week after her husband's guilty plea, Carroll's wife Margaret and his stepdaughter Katrina were using the same Ouija board when it apparently told them they were going to die. The next day, the mother and the daughter took some prescription drugs and then set their house on fire in an apparent suicide attempt. Both women were hospitalised but survived. Luckily, no one else was hurt, even though there were explosive gas canisters in the house.
Fuck.
Both Margaret and Katrina were arrested for arson and given 4 years in prison. Hopefully the family...
Can you imagine that story in prison?
What you
What
in
you in
for?
here for?
Spirit told me to set the house on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't do it, did you?
Yeah.
Dorothea and Matty Turley. On November the 8th, 1933, Dorothea Irene Turley was using a Ouija board with her 15-year-old daughter Matty Turley at their home in Prescott, Arizona. Dorothea was using the planchette, which spelled out a message instructing Matty to kill her father, thereby freeing Dorothea to marry a young cowboy.
It's a fucking episode of Dallas.
Because of his chaps, probably.
Sorry.
She also told her daughter that the board could not be denied. So, obedient to her mother and the board, Matty walked up behind her 48-year-old father and shot him twice in the back while he was doing chores on the farm. He died in hospital a few weeks later.
That's no way to go.
It's not.
Shot a man in the back over a matter of $88, Mike. That's a Back to the Future Part 3 reference. Don't worry, it's coming.
Come in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, baby!
Oh, God.
I think we should do the first two back to back, because it literally goes from one movie to the next. Then have a break and do the third. Leave it a week. Anyway, we'll talk about that off mic. You can watch 2 movies in a row.
Yeah, I can.
Well, I'll bring some beer. Sorry.
You're probably too pissed to the podcast, but it's like you're looking at 4 hours of drinking there.
I'll bring some energy drinks.
I don't do them.
You should try.
No, I don't want to.
It's really bad for you, actually. Right,
Yeah, they
sorry.
are.
Fucking hell, back to this list. I'm sorry. I'm not professional. Gary Gilmore. Over the course of 2 nights in July 1976, career criminal Gary Gilmore shot 2 men to death in Utah. He was soon arrested and became famous when he demanded to be executed for his crimes. Gary's younger brother, Mikhail Gilmore, later wrote the classic book, Shot in the Heart.
And you're to blame.
You give Ouija a bad name.
Yeah, Bon Jovi, though. I hate it, but I can't resist it.
I love it.
Why is a Bon Jovi?
It's a cunt who thinks it's a cowboy, even though it's some Joyzy.
Unfortunately, that was shot through the heart. This is shot in the heart.
Okay, sorry.
Alright, Bon Jovi's number one
Sensible. Well, anyway, his fucking brother wrote a book called Shot in the Heart about their childhood. In the book, Mikhail relays a strange story about their mother, Bessie. According to Mikhail, Bessie was convinced that she had contacted a demonic spirit through a Ouija board as a child. Furthermore, she believed that the demon had subsequently attached itself to her family. She became even more convinced when one of her sisters was killed and another one was left paralysed after an accident. As an adult, Bessie married Frank Gilmore, whose mother, Faye, was a medium. Her sister was a large. Sorry, that was a dad joke. She was a medium. One night, Bessie was told there would be a séance at Faye's home. Remembering her own bad experience with the supernatural, Bessie stayed away, returning to Faye exhausted and terrified. She managed to get the older woman into bed before heading to sleep herself. A short time later, she was awoken by the feeling that something was touching her face. When she opened her eyes, she saw a terrifying, inhuman creature lying in the bed beside her.
A husband.
Screaming, she jumped out of bed, only to see Faye walking into the room. Shouting that it knows who you are, and urging Bessie to get out of the house right away. Panicking, she ran to the bedroom her children were sleeping in. There, she saw the creature looking directly into the eyes of her young son, Gary.
Garrett.
Got it. Got it.
Garrett.
Gary!
That's the only Four Horses reference.
Yeah.
Fans. If any listeners out there, sorry, go and watch that.
Well.
It's great.
Got it.
She managed to... Where am I? Panicking! No, there... Fuck. Gary reportedly began to have terrible nightmares afterward.
Oh no.
Bessie would see the entity again, standing in her house just before Gary started to get into trouble. She came to believe that the demon she had summoned as a child through the Ouija board had possessed her son, making him angry and violent, man. I missed a word out and I tried to cover it. I'm sorry.
He's an angry and violent man, you're trying to say, yeah?
I missed the "an" out,
Yes.
so there was a man left and it would have sounded weird, so...
I see what you did, it was good.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. I thought on my
Technically, there
feet.
should have been a comment before the word man.
Yeah,
in
that's
that.
true.
Well, it made him an angry and violent man.
Yeah.
In 1977, Gilmore was executed for his crimes via firing squad.
Yeah.
He is the subject of Norman Mailer's Pulitzer Prize-winning book, The Executioner's Song, which was adapted into a TV movie starring Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. Wow.
There you
Happy
go.
ending then, after all.
Number 4, please.
Not number 5.
No. No, it's too
Because
complicated.
we can't
Number 4.
pronounce his name.
Yeah, that's why he's left that one out.
No, it's just not a very good one.
Oh, it's boring, Skip
I
on,
picked the
skip on.
cream of the crop, gentlemen. Carol Sue Elvacker.
Well, we're looking at a picture of a crashed van, and as a professional driver, all I'm going to say at the top, before you even read it, is that's what you get for doing a Ouija board at the wheel of a moving
She's
vehicle.
not doing it at the wheel of a-
Absolute fucking clown. That's what's happened there.
She's
Nothing
not-
to do with spirits.
She's not doing it at the wheel
Oh.
of the vehicle.
Have I jumped the gun?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Which way do I turn, left or right?
And then there's a spirit on opposite sides to
It
you.
takes 5 minutes to spend. That's why she hit the fucking lamppost.
Should I take over that car?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No!
There's something coming. Fuck. See? Idiots.
No.
All right.
Far from it.
What happened then?
On the night of February 11th, 2001, 53-year-old grandmother Carol Sue Elvacker was using a Ouija board with her daughter, Tammy Roach, and Tammy's 2 daughters. While playing in their home in Meco, Oklahoma, Elvacker apparently received a message from God through the Ouija board, informing her that her son-in-law, 34-year-old Brian Roach, was evil and needed to be killed. So Elveka grabbed a knife and stabbed the former mayor of Minko. He won the election by 8 votes when he was just 19 in his sleep.
He won the fucking thing in his sleep.
No, he was voted in by
I know, I'm being a dick. Sorry.
He called out for help, but Elveka and Tammy Roach did nothing, allowing him to bleed to death. After stabbing her son-in-law, Elveka tried to stab Tammy's 10-year-old daughter, but Tammy wrestled the knife from her mother and hid it in the house. Then Elveka Roach and her 2 daughters piled into a car with Elveka driving. She's just killed her husband and tried to stab her daughter, and now you're giving her the wheel of the car.
That was fun.
Is there a thing like, is this a thing like, hey, Mum always drives? Like, Dad always drives. When you went as a kid, Dad drives.
In our family, the stereotype seems to be the traditional, I do the driving.
Yeah.
I don't insist, Leona prefers it. She said she doesn't have to do it. And to me it's nothing, so it's my job.
Yeah.
But if she just stabbed someone, I wouldn't let her drive.
No. That proved a bad idea, since Elveka soon tried to kill everyone in the car by running into a roadside. However, she only ended up breaking both of her own ankles and slightly injuring the other passengers. Elveka then got out of the car and tried to push one of her granddaughters into traffic.
With broken ankles?
Yep. Apparently believing that she had inherited Brian's evil after both her ankles were broken. She stripped off her clothes and hid in the forest, but was soon arrested by the authorities.
She ran from the scene with 2 broken ankles.
Apparently so. It can be done. You can walk on broken ankles. Depending on the break, you can
I'd like
walk.
to see that.
Yeah, I knew a guy that went up Kaya Fan in the Welsh Brecon Beacons on a broken ankle carrying full kit. When I was in the reserves. So you can walk on a broken ankle. 2 of them, difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, but you can walk.
Could I tell you a very quick story about broken ankles? I would admit I was being a naughty boy and I was using my telephone whilst driving and I was spotted by a policeman.
Yeah.
But luckily, and also unluckily for me, that day they were doing a sort of roadside education type thing and I was directed off the road to like a disused car park behind right next to Dudley Zoo, as a matter of fact.
Could you smell the shit?
Well, no, not really, right. And I was like, what's going on here? There was a fire engine and a fucking wrecked car and like a table set up and stuff. I was like, oh god, here we go. So it's like, right, you've been observed using your phone while driving, you've been given the choice, right, now you can have a ticket and the points, whatever, or you can do some roadside education. I was like, I'll take the education, please, sir.
Yep.
Anyway, long story short, the wrecked vehicle, I was told, was I was took to it and shown inside it. There was blood splatters inside it. It was a fairly fresh vehicle that somebody had died in.
Yeah.
And they apparently crashed at 30 mile an hour, clipped the curb, it rolled over. That's all it takes. That was the point, what they were trying to get through my head. But then the pièce de résistance.
What, did a demon-possessed woman with broken ankles come
No.
screaming at the brake?
On fire and then push her own granddaughter into traffic.
I've never used my phone at the wheel again.
I know, but if I show you posted a video the other day.
No, I'm not touching it. It's hands-free. Oh, I could have been foot-free, as I'll tell you now. I was taken into the sort of middle bit of the fire engine, like, and sat down, and they opened up, they got this big folder, right, and they're like, as you're a van driver, like, you sit in an elevated position, and the engine block is sort of below you, and then if you crash at 30 mile an hour, that engine block comes through, basically, and this is what happens. Sort of opened up this book, and it was fuckloads of photographs of feet that were like smashed off at the ankle, bent, hanging off, completely gone, smashed to bits. And I'm a very squeamish person. I fucking was nearly fainting, and obviously they're firemen. They spotted it. They're like, whoop, got me a chair and some water, and they're like, how do you think we feel having to fucking? These are real photos from accidents we've been to and had to deal with and that, and they're like, just don't use your phone, man.
Well, when we got AI cars, there'll be no more crashing.
We'll have AI firemen as well.
When you use the unloader as opposed to the driver.
I'll be too old by then to be working.
You'd have to put in some kind of hover trolley to take the stuff off.
10 years, mate.
Hover trolleys in 10 years.
Be all AVs in 10 years.
Well, let's hope so. Not well, let's not hope so, because it's not how you have a job, but...
You know,
It's good for me, I don't drive.
Yeah, it's great for me too, to be fair. What's odd about this case is that Elvica had no history of mental problems, drugs or alcohol were not involved, and investigators couldn't find any evidence of domestic problems in the home. Elvica was ruled insane and committed to a psychiatric hospital. Tammy was also charged, but the case was later dropped. Tammy just stood there and watched her daughter get pushed into traffic. Her case was dropped.
Yeah.
That's insane. Why are they letting her drive in the first place? You know, she just stabbed her daughter's husband to death.
so you're going to tell her she can't drive?
They got the knife off her at that point. They got the knife off her and hid it.
It's not really... The Ouija board isn't really the major contributing factor to these cases, is it? It's someone's deep-seated mental fucking illness.
Of course it is, Gaz, but it's fun to pretend.
Okay.
It's the demons, Gaz.
It's demons.
Get with the programme. Michael McCallum. On December the 2nd, 1995, 17-year-old Michael McCallum and his 16-year-old friend Pierre Antoine lured two 15-year-olds Michael Earridge and Stephen Curran back to McCallum's flat in London, England. The room, which was described as a shrine to Satan, had a Ouija board. While the four teenagers were using it, the board supposedly spelled out the word kill.
Cock.
Oh, kill.
Sorry.
Chester, stop scratching the damn sofa.
When Earridge tried to leave, Antoine prevented him from doing so, eventually striking him. Things took a turn for the worse when McCallum pulled out a foot-long combat knife
Fuck's sake.
and used it to stab Earridge 11 times in the neck and chest, while Curran watched on in horror. It is believed that McCallum murdered Earridge in an attempt to sacrifice to Satan. McCallum, who has unspecified mental problems,
No surprises.
no shit, accepted a plea of manslaughter due to diminished responsibility and was sentenced to an unlimited term at Broadmoor Mental Hospital.
Oh, the big one. The criminally insane.
This is such a British Ouija board story. It ends in a fucking... I'll fucking stab you, you cunt!
Yeah, we do have a knife crime problem in this country.
Well, I don't mean oh well, but you know, there's nothing
Yeah.
the fuck can I do about it.
Join the police force.
What? No, how's that going to solve anything for
You
anyone?
could be a direct
It's another
solution to the problem.
useless bent copper.
But no, because you don't go full life on Mars and become a
Oh,
bent
I
copper.
will! Look, if you think being a policeman's suddenly going to change my lifestyle, I'm still going to need to score every
But you don't
3
give it-
days.
But you don't tell everyone you're a policeman.
How am I going to get through the piss tests?
Well, they always do them now and again.
Oh.
Give you warning.
I'll copy Cheech and Chong. Right? This time I really fucked with
Just
him.
get
I
the
had my
others
sister
pee.
peeing it. She's pregnant.
Just get the owner's pee.
I don't think it works. Anyway, I'm not going to join the police. I have looked into it, I'll be honest.
I have to.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I want to be one of them, Mike. I'll
I'll be
never
smoking
fit in.
a weed, can you, so?
Can you see my face fitting in the changing room?
No.
I'll be the weirdo that no one wants to fucking socialise with.
Me and you on patrol together. That'll
like-
be the two weirdos together.
Like in
But
every
we'll
other
get the
aspect
worst-
of my life.
We'll get the worst beats in Telford.
I sometimes think I'm on a subconscious mission to sabotage my own life by alienating myself from as many people as humanly possible. It seems like I'm just falling out with people left, right and centre, like with zero fucks being given about it. Like, off you fuck. And you, one less
I think
person.
as you get old, that's it, man. It's like, I can't bother with that shit anymore.
I have at least 3 friends, and everyone else can fuck right off.
Yeah, it's a bit tragic though, isn't it?
I know. I do sit there at night sometimes having a joint thinking like, maybe I should be a bit less of a cunt.
I was just there thinking, I need to talk to someone. You're probably in bed. He's incommunicado. Mike's incommunicado for some reason.
He just doesn't like you.
Yeah, probably. And I'm like, I've got no one else who will appreciate my weird shit chat at this time of night.
That's what Twitter's for. I'm only joking.
I'll just start my account again, aren't I? I'm gonna...
Because see, you're not doing it right. I could give you a masterclass. You've got to insult people without threatening any kind of violence, even in a joking way, because they can't tell you're joking, and not breaking any of the hate laws. And you got to be quite careful because the actual company Twitter is woke as shit. Right? So they ban a lot of right-wingy people. So you're not in danger of that, but you know what I mean. Don't go too hard at the wokers because you might get caught.
You admit that I'm not a Nazi.
Well, you are, but you know what I mean. Oh.
Fascist tendencies.
Yeah.
No!
I'll keep it very brief, but how good did you watch the whole of that Jonathan Pye, that 15-minute long? That's his peak. Oh, mate, it's so good. It's like an episode of a sitcom. You make yourself like a clown saying that.
I know. I got the general gist of it. It was funny. It was.
She watched it. I thought it was like as good as The Office.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I thought he's brilliant.
Which one was it again? Remind me.
The one where he's trying to report on the Brexit protests, and they keep using stuff out of context, and he's being called a gammon and a boomer and a Nazi. And
it's very Alan Partridge.
It's brilliant. Yeah. It was like a mix between The Office and Alan Partridge.
Yeah. You're like the one that he did. He did a 15-minute one on the climate.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
You'll love it.
Oh, excellent.
You will love it.
Oh.
I'll tell you now.
Yeah, fuck him. Grind him into dust.
Gaz, would you like to read the number one Ouija board related murder?
Yes, Ben. Yes, I would.
Thank you.
That was nice. Polite.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you. Me.
Over to you.
Make it so.
Indeed. Now you admit he's a superior captain.
I will admit, having gone back and rewatched a lot of the series, I've watched most of 6 and 7 in the last 2 weeks. He is a different kind of masculine, right? He's not just a smack you in the face, because he's sort of Solomon-like wisdom, knows that if he talks long enough, he will find an intellectual solution to a problem, a diplomatic solution, because he's just... But, if it actually does come down to it, he can throw a fucking kung fu kick. It looks awkward and shit, but you have to suspend your disbelief.
It's a sci-fi movie.
He is nearly 60, at the time. I love him, yeah. I'm not going to say... But Kirk is... Come on, though. You have still got to... Maybe they're on the level.
I admire him. I admire Kirk, but...
I realise Picard's a more rounded
I'd
human.
like to go out with Kirk...
To a space bar.
Sort of like, you're not on a mission or anything with him. You just... When you got your recuperation time... And go for a bender with him.
Obviously. He'd be good in a space war, though, wouldn't he?
But Picard in actual service, I think.
If I'm on service and I want to come back alive, it's Picard every time.
That's a good point. I was thinking about that. If you're on this dangerous space exploration mission, right, it's 10-year mission or whatever.
Yeah.
It's dangerous as all fuck.
You are in uncharted space.
You prefer the Buddhist, wise old English guy, wouldn't you, who's with French but English, rather than the more no, we're going to fuck those Klingons up.
Yeah,
I want to fuck that Klingon princess.
But on leave, you want to be with Kirk.
Yeah.
What's the worst can happen?
The after party.
You die.
No, not on leave.
You get into a brawl.
Yeah, you get into a brawl. You stabbed to the heart.
Yeah, no.
I've got more chance to stay alive through my career with Picard than I have with Kirk.
So I mean, out there...
I concede I'm a big enough man to admit that having gone back, I've binged in preparation for the new Picard. I was only planning to binge the Next Gen movies. I did all 4 of them, loved them, forgot how good they were actually, even the shit ones. So then I went back to the series and I forgot how good the series was. You need to get on it on Netflix.
I will.
All 7 series, mate.
I need to do the Picard episodes and then I'll just start watching Next Generation.
Because Picard ties back. If I hadn't have watched some of the episodes, I'd have missed some quite important little references. Anyway.
I do love a callback. Right, Number one, Ouija-related murder.
Sorry about the Star Trek Picard tangent. I have ADHD. In December 2007, 16-year-old Joshua Tucker and 15-year-old Donald, a 15-year-old called Donald.
Wow.
Donald asked a Ouija board if they should become serial killers. Then they asked who would be killed first, and the board spelled out Mum. It was wrong. On the night of December 19, the pair were drinking alcohol and cough syrup in Donald's home. While they were hanging out, Donald's 13-year-old sister, Elizabeth, was talking on the phone. Out of nowhere, Tucker took a knife and stabbed her once in the throat.
Fuck.
The two teenage boys then hid the body and tried to clean up the blood. When Donald's mother, 41-year-old Laurie, went looking for her daughter, Tucker attacked her as well. She managed to call 911, but police didn't respond in time. When Tucker's knife broke, Donald gave Tucker a dumbbell and a butcher's knife to finish off his mother.
Wow.
Laurie died on the way to the hospital. After the murder, the two young men, who were covered in blood, got into a car and tried to flee. They were arrested a short time later. Donald was given 9.5 years in prison, while Tucker was given a 41-year sentence.
There you go. This is what happens if you use these things and you're suggestible. Or mentally damaged, mentally ill, whatever you want to say. It's...
Bit of a cunt.
It can be a bit of a cunt for you. Because let's throw a spoiler out there at this point. It's not demons you're talking to. It's your own subconscious. Would you agree,
Talk to
Mike?
that. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And that's why.
Play your demons in there, mate.
Believe me.
Why does it keep spelling out big black monster dicks?
Is that for Mike or
I
you?
haven't got an issue, I swear. It's not in my subconscious. I don't dream about them all day. What?
I didn't hear anything then. Let's just screw that off the record.
Good, thank you. Cut that bit out.
How does it happen?
This microphone kind of looks like a... No, I'm sorry.
A dong.
It's
What are
very
you
phallic.
saying?
Everything's phallic.
How does it work then?
Well, how Ouija boards work, I'll give you a hint. It's not ghosts. In fact, there's a simple scientific explanation. The mysterious mechanism that powers the Ouija board is called the odometer effect.
Idiot meter.
Idiot meter.
Or odometer.
Yeah, odometer. We can do odometer.
Idiomotor, I think.
Idiomotor. And it's basically a way for your body to talk to itself. The idiometer effect is an example of unconscious, involuntary physical movement. That is, we move when we're not trying to move. If you've ever experienced a sudden feeling of jerking awake from sleep, known as the hypic jerk, which I
have them quite bad. Do you ever
Yeah.
have the falling one and you hit the ground?
No, I always wake up for a fall.
It's you feel
Right,
like...
sorry.
It shows you how powerful your brain is. I know I haven't moved, but I feel like I've just gone whack and jolted myself awake like that. I'm like, fuck it out. I know it's not real, but it happens to be quite a bit.
My legs
Once
kick.
I woke up, yeah, and I was paralysed.
I get that all
I
the
was
time.
wide awake. I could see the TV.
Yeah.
I was looking around the room and I couldn't move my body.
Mike, can I tell you
What
something?
the fuck was that?
When I was a child, this happens to me regular. I still get it to this day. It's called sleep paralysis. But when I was a child, I didn't know that. And I thought I was going to die or something. I used to hate it. And I've actually got a technique that I have to use. It's called, basically what it is when you're in a deep sleep, your body essentially paralyses. There's a sort of system because otherwise you'd act out your dreams. So it keeps you... If you've ever noticed when someone's in a deep sleep, they ain't moving for shit. They stay still as cement. But if you're awoken, sort of before you've had a chance for that, you get a few seconds of it still being engaged, and you literally feel, Ben, have you ever had it?
No, I've never had sleep
Utterly paralysis. And it's terrifying. When I was a kid, it terrified, and I was too scared to even tell anyone about it. That's how scared of it I was until I found out it was a thing, and everyone gets it. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people. Anyway,
Happened to me about
but
two or three times.
my technique, this is how common it is for me. I have a technique. I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck, and it's still horrible, but I know what it is, and I sort of close my eyes and I go, right, I am going to go 1, 2, 3, and on 3 I am going to roll over like this, and it works every time. I go 1, 2, and on 3 I poof, and then it's done and I broke from it. It's fucking terrifying,
mad,
mate.
innit?
Horrible. For all them years though, before the internet, I didn't know what the fuck it was. I thought it was some sort of, I don't know what it was. I thought I had some sort of brain thing going on. It's only a few seconds, but they're long seconds. Paralysis is a horrific feeling, man. Even if you're literally trying to send signals and nothing. It's so weird.
You're like, I want to get off the sofa now,
But
nothing's
no.
happening.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not,
The messages are not getting through. The system hasn't sort of,
but you're like, I'm awake.
Yeah.
And then it just kicks in, and you're like, what the fuck?
But if it happens again now, because we've talked about it, try and remember my go.
yeah.
Right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, boom, and then it seems to kick in, man. But I don't know why I get it common. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's my personality or sleep patterns or something. Maybe it's because I do tend to startle awake, to be fair. It's always my alarm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do that, to be fair. But I have the most shrieking alarm I can.
My alarm's pretty horrible.
Because I know it'll wake me up,
But yeah.
basically.
Sleep paralysis.
But my timer for the oven, right, when I set on my phone, is like church bells ringing. It's nice and serene. I'm eating. My alarm to get off. My alarm to get up is like a beep beep because I know it'll wake me up.
But it's amazing with the girls though, because let's say they fall asleep in our bed and I have to transfer them, so they're 8 and 6. Picking them up's not a gentle process. It's quite like, you know, never fucking wake up. I'm able. So they're just in that deep. Anyway, we've done the sleep tangent.
Yeah.
Have we finished? Oh no, fucking hell. What are we on about? You were explaining the actual
Explain
science.
the actual effect. Where are we, Mike?
Jesus, sorry about that, everyone.
The hypnic jerk.
Sleep
yes.
paralysis, that's why we went down
Yeah.
that tangent.
So the reflective movements you actually make are much smaller because you're not dreaming your dreams, but you feel paralysed. So in the case of a Ouija board, your brain may unconsciously create images and memories when you ask the board questions. Your body responds to your brain without you consciously telling it to do so, causing the muscles in your hands and arms to move the pointer or the planchette into answers that you, again, unconsciously may want to receive.
But it's a group thing, isn't it? So you're thinking the same thing. Were we all thinking Ed 13, 1927?
One of you was probably unconsciously.
Is there an element of a sort of sister or branch off of pareidolia? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like seeing what you want to see. Do you know what I mean?
It makes sense, doesn't it? I asked questions in English and it answered them, you know, coherently.
Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying?
D
That, like,
isn't complicated. 1928.
Isn't, yeah.
I mean...
But it didn't go XVP, did it?
it didn't go anywhere because it didn't move of its own volition.
But what if you were
It
the
did
one...
move.
There was 3 of you touching the glass, I
Yeah.
remember that.
I'm not saying what moved it, but it definitely moved.
Not of its own
But
volition.
you don't know you're moving it. That's the
I
thing.
know, but it's
Unconscious bias kind
yeah,
of
but
thing.
the group are still managing to spell out. I'm just saying it's a bit weird.
One of you's more dominant
So-
than the other in that.
Possibly. Or does like the subconscious of all of us sort of like combine?
Plus, you can't trust your memory. No one can trust their memory. All memories are reconstructions.
Ben, no, both of us happened like that, didn't it?
But you can still
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
things wrong together.
My job was
Good,
to write the
but
letters down.
It definitely happened. I'm saying at the time it freaked me out.
You're
Now,
14,
I
mate.
know, of course, exactly. It's going to freak you out. But now I know that it wasn't fucking ghosts. You know what I mean? But it's still freaky how all of us were moving it.
You're the science officer. There's science explanations.
Yeah, but it's just saying one person. I'm saying it's more than one person controlling it, unless Ben's right and one person's more dominant.
Or one
But if we're all
person's full of
sending
shit.
these micro,
You were the one asking the
movements.
questions. There was 3 people doing it, and I
Yeah.
was the 4th one sat there writing down the letters and the numbers.
Yes, we all had our
Right?
fingers on it.
But you were the one asking the questions.
That's the
so
thing,
maybe
you're all
you were
touching
more
it.
dominant.
Well,
You're
maybe.
touching
But they're all touching it.
So
I'm
it's
just asking
getting
a question.
manipulated.
I'm not saying I'm looking for the answer. I'm asking
No,
a
I
question.
know, but I'm just saying that as you were the one asking the questions.
Maybe I was more dominant. Maybe my subconscious. That was the answer. I
Can
don't
you
know.
smell that? It's bullshit.
So did you ever show that video?
No, but there is a difference if one person controls it and many, doesn't it?
To me, I don't, because I know it's bollocks. That's why.
I know, but I'm trying to
Have
find
you ever
out
done
why.
one? You never
No,
done
no,
one?
no, never been interested.
I've
I've
always
seen
en-
Darren Brown explain it and then prove
Well,
it and
yeah.
do it.
I'm always intrigued by the esoteric and the occult.
It's interesting. I'll give you that. I'm being, for comedic value, deliberately facetious and dismissive of it. It's interesting, definitely,
Yeah.
but I don't buy it.
No.
Only because maybe if I'd have had the same experience as you, I definitely would have a different opinion. But I've listened to Darren Brown. I know obviously he's not the world's authority on anything, but he is completely honest and he hasn't got an agenda. He's trying to expose these things because he genuinely doesn't like
Yeah,
this sort of
because
thing.
he can reproduce it
Yeah.
himself. He's trying to spread awareness.
So, yeah, I don't.
I think we're
put any-
unanimous on that, aren't we?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it is.
And also, yeah, susceptible people. Obviously, that list. There are some extreme examples of people with deep-seated issues who it was just catalyst.
The one who never had any mental problems, alcohol or drug problems. The grandmother who stabbed her son-in-law and then drove the car off and broke her ankles and still tried to push her daughter.
I think she had some undiagnosed.
But she had no history of it. Which, let's face it, from being no history to on broken ankles trying to push your grandmother into traffic is a fucking big leap, let's face it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but she's never been tested.
She could have had like a brain tumour.
That could have happened, you're right,
People,
And the use of
traumatic brain industry.
That's why I always suggestible people.
Exactly, future episode,
But
we're
you're
going
right,
to do...
though. It's like your mom just going mental one day.
It's like
broken ankles and
I walk
driving past and you just see her pushing your fucking nan into the traffic.
Like tomorrow, I walk into my mum's house. I'm going for dinner, and her partner is stabbed to death. The dog is disemboweled, and she's there licking the blood off the knife, going from nothing to that.
Runs after you with broken ankles,
and then she's broke her own ankles trying to. And she's trying to run with it.
Like the Terminator.
Yeah,
it absolutely will not stop.
And I had to run like the fuck, shut the door and lock it and keep her in there and call the SWAT team. I mean, that's a big step, isn't it?
It's England, it won't be a SWAT team, it'll be PC Nigel going, Madam, I will tase you.
No, because she's got a knife, remember? She's killed already, they'll have the armed police in for that.
Well,
there might be two of them, but there we are.
When they come for me, I'll have my knives gaffer taped to my hands. So
of course.
I might do a round moat, though. They fucking tase me and I stab myself in the throat twice.
What a fucking twat he was. All that build-up and for that, shooting himself in the head.
Fuck on the tino, mine
I hope he was listening to that when he did it.
Gazza was there, man.
No, he turned up, he didn't stay.
Turned up with some beers and a fishing rod.
Yeah, four beers and a fishing
rod. Mate! Let's go fishing, man! Stop shooting people, man! Gazza, you're not helping.
Stop throwing grenades at the police.
Raoul! Fag on, it's me, Gazza! Fag on the dino, mino. Oh.
And he left him 4 beers and a fishing rod and fucked off.
Anyway, my next choice is Chris Benoit, speaking of going mental.
Ooh. So damn, we're skipping the movie episode.
No. My next normal choice.
Oh, that's a shame. Alright, well, let's see this video about how Ouija boards work.
Oh fuck, no, press pause.
Okay, so let's have this 3-minute video on why Ouija boards are shat. Expanding on the reasons.
It's a little experiment he does.
Does an experiment?
With some willing volunteers.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh. Paranormal expert Mark Edward is helping these volunteers use a Ouija board to reach out to the spirit world.
Grandpa, are you happy?
And now this woman seems to be in a deep supernatural conversation with her deceased grandfather.
Yes.
That's good.
Grandpa is happy.
Are you starting to believe?
So now how do you feel?
I don't know, it almost makes me want to cry. I'm happy that he's happy. I'm a believer.
More now?
More
than
now.
before?
Yeah, I doubted a little bit at the beginning, but after doing it and experiencing it, there's no way I can doubt it now, I think.
At this point, we could easily let these people leave convinced they contacted the spirit world.
No way you can doubt it.
I don't think so, no.
But for our final test, we're going to have the group reach out again, only this time with a little twist.
What I have here are some blindfolds.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Surely blindfolding our participants won't make a difference to the spirits.
Okay.
Thank
Or
you.
will it?
I'm going to place the planchette in the center of the table. Now is going to be the moment of truth. Spirits, can you speak to us? Are you there?
Watching these guys sort of
Right there?
slide the planchette across the table.
Kendall's grandpa, show us that you're with us again.
That's odd. Are the spirits drawing a blank?
You know what year he died?
Yes.
Okay. What year did you die? Right there? Okay. Here's the second number.
How do you think our new believers will react when they find out the spirits are having some technical difficulties?
The third, one more number. Okay. You can take your blindfolds off. Now, what year did he pass away?
2010.
So this should be conclusive evidence at this point. Now, the spirits did a fantastic job without the blindfolds, but with the blindfolds on, this is what I got when you went for the date from Grandpa, who was so clear before, right? Here's what you got. You got a J and a K, and you got 3 blanks that were on the middle of the wood. There was no numbers here, here, or here.
She looks like she just saw a ghost. So what's going on here? Before, the spirits were answering their questions perfectly. Oh. Did they suddenly forget how to spell? And if everyone swears they aren't in control,
I'm not moving it.
then who or what is moving the dial?
There you go. They blindfolded them and it was gibberish.
Yeah.
Unless the spirits see through the eyes of the people controlling the planchette.
Oh, Mike, is it like on the fence?
They don't know, do they?
I just point out there's a theory.
They don't know.
I have a kind of split decision on this.
Oh, suck a cock.
No, not saying it's ghosts. I'm not. I think if you're a fairly reasonable, rational human being like we are that know that shit isn't real, but we know it's not real.
No one in
right?
here is rational.
It's a parlour game. But if you're not, if you're one of those people who goes to see psychics, if you're one of those people who has tarot card readings and bases their life journey off that decision,
Cunts.
then you'll listen to this and it might inspire you, as we heard earlier,
To break your own ankles and push your grandmother.
push your granddaughter, your 10-year-old granddaughter into traffic. If you believe in, and these people who believe that, I hate to say it, I hate to see Orange Man bad, but
What the fuck has Trump got to do with it?
these guys are the guys that vote for Trump. There's the spiritual guys, the Christian
Mate, is
evangelical
your
guys.
arm
a lot of
okay?
assumptions there, man.
Was your arm okay with that reach that you just did there?
He does hurt a bit.
You did pull the muscle there, mate. What the fuck? Yeah, these people do vote for Trump, but why have you brought
Exactly,
him up?
there you go.
Yeah, but why have you brought him up?
Well, I just thought I'd throw it in from last episode.
Orange man.
I think it's demons.
Never swallow that demon seed. No. That's the main thing to take away from this.
No, I'm 99.9%
Yeah,
sure it's not.
It's rubbish.
But until there's a, it's still a bit foggy though, isn't it? That whole sort of idiomatic thing. I'm joking.
If the listener could see my face.
Yeah, it's crap, but I do like it, and I do think that, if you're one of those evangelical types, actually, would that be classed as witchcraft? This thing has been classed as witchcraft in the past, talking boards. But, you're one of those people who's maybe one of those witchy types, You are believing in stuff.
those types.
There are witchy types about.
Yeah, those women that have a lot of crystals in their house and
Yeah,
pictures of fairies with
and a lot
long
of
hair and big
cats.
tits on them.
Yeah, a lot of cats as well.
And they wear Doc
usually.
Martens with purple laces.
That's,
And like trench coats.
Yeah.
You know the type.
Fairies wear boots.
They smell musty.
And they make their own turnip wine.
Yes, those people.
Oh,
They
that's a
love this
different
shit.
person. That's someone who lives off the mushrooms growing in their hair.
So,
which is what I plan to do in the apocalypse.
Is that what you start washing your hair?
I'm going to stop washing my hair till it grows mushrooms. Yeah.
I'm going to hate the apocalypse. I hate my hair when it gets longer because I've virtually got none, so I'm going to go with a skullet.
For the listener, I haven't stopped washing my hair.
Still cut your hair in the apocalypse.
Like, if it happened now,
You don't have to have a skullet.
I probably will end up with a skullet though, won't I? As it grows, I end up with a
But
skullet.
you can still cut your hair in the apocalypse just because there's no hairdressing shops.
No, with
There's
clippers I
salons
can't.
about. No, with clippers you can't.
No, it's just someone to cut my hair with.
Burn it off with a match.
Burn off with a match, exactly. No, I'm just going for the apocalypse skullet.
You have to worry about
I'm
it.
going to leg drop zombies. I'm going for the apocalypse skullet. I'm leg dropping the
What
enemy.
is the apocalypse? Why not?
Exactly. I'm going to rock I might take your cue and rock double denim with a stomach.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with double denim, mate.
There is everything wrong
There's
with double
nothing
denim.
wrong with double
There's
denim. mate.
everything wrong.
There's nothing wrong with wearing double denim, putting your thumbs through your belt loops and doing this sort of dance whilst listening to a very particular band, The Quo.
There is everything wrong
No,
with
there's
that
not.
statement. I would kill you both right now if I
Mate,
could
they're
do it.
rock and roll. You know, classic rock.
I know the Quo is shit.
They're not, Mike.
They are shit.
Alright, man.
They're pretty fucking good, mate.
They're shit.
They're not shit.
They're shit. I'm sorry.
I like some of
No,
that
but
stuff.
that's an objectively incorrect statement.
3
isn't it?
chords.
They can play songs in tune on time and write.
So can every professional band.
Apart from
That's
us.
what I'm saying. So that doesn't mean they're shit. Like, if they're shit, what is like you and me that can't play an instrument?
We're terrible. We're
No,
worse
no,
than
no.
shit.
What you mean is they're not to your tastes. They're not shit because they live on private islands, right? Based off of
No,
their
I'm
musicianship.
aware of that. I am
Yeah.
aware of that.
So they're not shit.
But
They're not to your taste.
no, yes, all right, you pedantic fucker. Yes, they're not to my taste.
Just call me Dr. Spock. Educating you.
I
you heathen.
despise
You're
them.
like the heathen Jim Kirk, and I'm fucking keeping you alive and educated with my wisdom.
I despise them with a passion.
But
As
you like
much
rock and
as
roll.
much as UB40, in fact.
What the fuck? Few beers, seen them live, mate. You'd be the one
Nope.
who's dead now, but
Nope.
God,
Nope. I wouldn't be there in the first place.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. That's not even their best song.
If I had a gun, I'd shoot
Down,
them both.
down, deeper and down, do-do-do-do, down, down, deeper and down, do-do-do-do.
Oh, them are the same 3 chords as
They're
before.
really good. So, he's got this weird thing, doesn't he, where he's like, so what, do you like fucking Yes? And like prog rock?
Yeah, I
like
do,
jazz
actually.
music?
No, I don't like jazz,
Fucking while you're in your wizard costume, painting your fucking miniatures.
No, he's
Oh, I
bastard.
love a bit of Yes.
Who did you guess?
Because you don't like any of the music that's got like feeling and like,
I do,
you know,
actually. I
like
do.
dirty down, bassy, just grunty,
But not the Quo.
grimy
Not the Quo.
emotion.
Sorry, I can't.
Fair enough, you're not the Quo.
Don't do it. Ouija Boards are
Can I
bollocks.
just trigger you with the quote?
Yeah.
Do you notice how I didn't bite when you tried to trigger me on the old electronic cars thing? AI drivers. Oh, how the tables have turned. I am now the master and you are but the learners.
Well, tables turn all the time, my friend. Tables turn all the time.
Yeah.
It's like worms.
Exactly.
What?
The worm has turned.
Worm has turned.
Weird news.
Weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Anyway, a shopkeeper could spark Sainsbury's fury after calling the shop Singsbury's local, but says it's coincidence.
Genius.
Now, Sainsbury's is a large commercial supermarket in the UK.
Bit middle class.
Bit middle class and not that good, to be fair. If you do decide to go there, it's a bit shit for what they charge. So a cheeky business owner is facing a backlash from one of the UK's most famous supermarkets after operating a shop called Singsbury's. Ooh. That, can you put that in read of you?
Are you okay? I can see the screen.
I
don't need my glasses.
I do need my glasses. I
Less
do.
than 2 hours after telling us.
Oh. Yeah, I do. Unless it's in read of you, I'm pretty screwed.
Go on then. Get on with it.
I'm 37 next month.
Mate, I might as well just bring my fucking dead nan next week.
Or we can all have a go on it.
I don't want to. Mike? The hell?
Oh, no.
Anyway, Mandeep
It's
Singh,
lonely.
chapter 34, has unveiled his new convenience store featuring a sign which bears an uncanny resemblance to the famous orange lettering of Sainsbury's. He could potentially be in hot water with the supermarket giant, which has previously threatened legal action against other businesses which have pulled similar stunts. Mr. Chatterer opened Singsbury's local in Wolverhampton last month with wife Hardeep and says it has proved a hit with locals who stop in to have selfies taken with the sign.
It is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
He's going to lose everything.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's going to lose that house, the shops above, I can tell you. Shops below, even. He said he registered the name of the shop with company's house by putting together his surname and the location of the store, which is on Bushbury Road. Singsbury's? Makes sense. The former sandwich delivery driver from Wolverhampton said, "My name is Singh and it is on Bushbury Road." And that's where the name has come from. It's just a coincidence.
I'm sure. It's exactly the same letter in the same colour.
Yeah. It has proved very popular so far. People keep
Because
stopping.
people think it's a Sainsbury's. That's why it's popular.
But they're stopping their cars to take pictures of the sign.
Imagine, it would feel like being on drugs, thinking you've walked into Sainsbury's and looking around and going, oh, the labels are wrong, they're different. Like, am I in an
Mars
alternative
bars have individually priced.
universe? Like, yeah. He said they've got fireworks next to the pasties.
You've got remote control airplanes that for some reason people think are going to sell but never do. Yeah. Genuinely, in the local corner shop by me, you got the beer aisle, and all of a sudden there's this 35 quid floating aircraft carrier remote control boat. And I have looked at it. But at the same time I thought, nah, it looks a bit shit, we just bought some beer instead.
Does it look more like it should be £3.50?
It looks more like it should be about 15 quid, not 35.
Right. Well, I think we've got the gist of Mr. Sing's.
Yeah.
I would love to know how he's doing now, whether he's been sued into the next world or not. But probably.
Just seeks believe in reincarnation.
It's like we couldn't open a burger restaurant, call it McDonald's with a U, like mucky, like McDonald's with the M and everything. We'd last like a week, would we? Surely.
Yeah.
They'd send high-powered lawyers in that do say things we don't understand and slap stickers on things.
And they beat us to a pulp.
Yeah.
Trademarking it.
Yeah.
Or just shoot us in the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Just execute us.
They probably have their own Men in Black sort of outfit operation.
But they dress like Ronald McDonald.
That'd be your nightmare.
Feed us Big Macs till we're dead.
That wouldn't be so bad. Dress like Ronald McDonald.
Next.
Yeah, bad. Yeah.
Oh great! Now there's a penis-scented candle too.
Oh, fantastic!
This is because of what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow, yeah,
releasing a minge-flavoured candle.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a penis one now.
Well, nice to see quality. Canadian
ad agency Taxi just unveiled the "This Smells Like My Penis" candle this week, and is nearly identical to the $75 Goop one.
Wow.
As expected, it is priced at $100.
Jesus Christ.
Bargain.
Who's paying that for a fucking candle? Who's paying $75 for a fucking candle? No, mind $100.
The back of the candle reads, "The candle costs 25% more than its vagina-smelling equivalent, because even though it's illegal in Canada to pay women less than men, the gender pay gap smells as strong as ever."
Oh, fuck off.
The pay gap doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. I've read that. I've read a bit on that, yeah.
Well, it's simple. Listen, Mike, if there's a job going at Ben's place, for example, right, a picking job, you're looking at the job centre, it says the rate that you get paid. It doesn't say men earn this and the female rate is this at all. That's illegal. It's the same rate. It's a myth. Like, where the disparity comes in, there's loads of different things that go into the equation of like types of job, hours worked. But in terms of like men get paid more than women, like job for job, like for like, it's not true. It's illegal.
No, it is bollocks. It is. It's taken on average, and average is hard extremes.
It's become a buzzword that people use to get people fired up, and people do think it's real. People literally think that if me and my sister go for the same McDonald's job, I'll get given one hourly rate and she'll get given another. That's fucking illegal. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's just that she might work less hours than me because of her children. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it's different when you get up into the boardroom positions. Maybe, I know in the wrestling, I know everything goes back to wrestling with me, but I know the top woman who's the champion gets paid a pathetic amount compared to what the man champion gets paid. But then Vince would probably justify that by saying, well, he sells X amount of merchandise and blah, blah, blah.
She doesn't.
But...
Because, let's face it, women's wrestling isn't as popular as the men's.
No, but it's getting more.
It's just getting there.
But
absolutely.
at the low level, though, at the skilled labour level, at the, like, you know, going for a factory job, your place, McDonald's, anywhere, there's not 2 rates on the fucking, on offer.
A dispatch worker gets paid the same, a detail worker gets paid the same, MHE drivers get paid the same. It's just a band.
Upper management is where things might get squirrely, where an MD running the company might go, right, I'm not going to offer this woman the same amount as what I would offer a male counterpart. But there's no law to govern against that. But down at the other level, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because at our level, we're all paid the same.
Yeah. So it's a myth. So it does exist, but it's not what people think it is. It exists because there's like societal differences. Well, women, I know not all women have children, but men do tend to do, on average, more dangerous jobs and more higher paid jobs, on average, across society. And when
because there's more male police officers.
When I say dangerous jobs,
there still is a disparity.
Yeah, but no, there isn't though.
You just said at the top level.
At the very, very top.
Athletes and film stars.
Yeah, but who's good?
Yeah, but they're the extremes of this.
That probably brings the average.
That's what I mean. It brings it down a little bit, but all those people who are doing the same jobs as like me or Gaz, a warehouse worker or a delivery driver or a female, they're getting paid the same as me and him are. That's it. And who's the majority in that scenario? Those female wrestlers, those female movie stars, or the average working Joe?
But things like building sites, road work, that's like predominantly males.
Yeah.
All around the world, and that's classed as a dangerous job because it is, and you get paid accordingly. Whereas if you work in
a call centre,
home bargains.
Anyway, should we move on?
But if you go for the same job, it's illegal to say, well, you can't advertise 2 hourly rates, basically, can you?
No.
Anyway.
Alright, so last piece of weird news.
Man tries to pay undercover cop for oral sex. Hang on.
With hamburger.
Is it the way I'm reading it or the way it's written? Because it sounds like he's trying to have oral sex with a hamburger.
No, he's paying with a hamburger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. He thinks the undercover cop
He's
is
paying
a
an
prostitute.
undercover cop to let him have sex with a hamburger. That's the way that sounds. But obviously,
I'll give you this McDonald's 99p hamburger if you.
Have you ever seen that movie? What's the movie? Menace to the Hood. Where I suck your dick.
Don't be a menace to the hood.
That's the piss take. But I'm on about Menace to Society, which is the movie. Anyway, he says I'll suck your dick for a cheeseburger or something like that.
Oh, they do that in fucking
$5 or something. They shoot
the Adam Sandler American football movie.
Okay, well, I'll read it.
Okay.
A Florida man.
Yay!
It's probably our listener. Looking to exchange mouth pleasures for different mouth pleasures, saw his entire plan fall apart when the woman with whom he offered to trade a hamburger for oral sex turned out to be a cop.
Oh, gutting.
Fuck, it serves him right for walking up to a police car and presuming it was a hooker sitting there. Dick. According to police, 57-year-old Frank Capone of Pinellas Park, Florida, approached an undercover St. Petersburg police officer and offered a hamburger in exchange for oral sex. He was arrested on a prostitution charge. Police did not reveal what type of hamburger the man was offering.
We could look into this argument, this case, as well as maybe he was just really hammered and horny, rather than trying to actually solicit someone to.
He doesn't exchange what he was doing.
He said, "I got a hamburger, love." Maybe the cop was posing as a prostitute, offering him something. And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you this burger."
Ben, I don't think he walked up to an actual in uniform officer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, that she probably was.
But even so, I think it's slightly unfair. He could have been hammered.
Well, that's.
Suck me dick for a whopper.
That's sting operation. Suck me whopper for a whopper.
Yeah.
Who am I trying to kid?
Alright.
Right, fuck him. Fucked up facts.
Fucked up facts. Yeah. Alright, so let's finish on some fucked up facts.
Jingle?
Facts.
If you read 5 items from the British Library every day, it would take you 80,000 years to get through them all.
Wow. That's impressive.
Fair play.
Right. That's, yeah. Wow.
A group of wild cats.
Yeah.
Can you guess what it might be called? Just think what a group of wild cats would cause.
Tomcats. Chaos.
Close. Destruction.
Ah.
Cats.
Yeah. Wild cats.
Yeah.
How wild are we talking? I mean, we're talking like domesticated cats that, well...
They're not wild then, are they?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, descendants of domesticated cats.
No, like, any cat, if it doesn't receive human contact within a certain
That's what I mean, yeah.
period, it becomes feral.
That's what I mean. Is it a group of them, or...?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Another cat's fact. While the Royal Mail employed cats from 1868, the cats only had 1 pay rise in the first 84 years.
Oh, that's capitalism for you.
It is. When questioned about these labour practices in the House of Commons, the Assistant Postmaster General reported there have been no complaints.
Ooh, that's sly.
Fucking true though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's true, but it's sly.
Animals can't spend the money, Judge. We feed the cunts. I love cats.
You
Next,
both are
sorry.
crazy cat men.
Yes, we are. Let's not derail the facts.
Vladimir Putin still uses Windows XP.
I can believe it. It's the finest operating system ever developed.
I have Windows 10.
Oh, that's the worst one.
Yeah, it's pretty shit.
The British government paid off its debt from World War One in 2015.
I read that, yeah.
Fair play.
I haven't paid off the World War II debt, though, yeah.
That's alright. Just...
And the World War II debt is vastly more significant.
Well, that's why it's taking longer to pay off. Give them a break. We should be proud of our achievement.
What achievement is that?
We paid it off.
Oh, we paid the account, not the
Fucking-
cost in human lives.
The old
or...
account was settled long ago. We've fucking settled. That's good, paying your debts. 100 years later. But...
Well, if that's what it takes to pay for a global war.
Oh,
100
negative
years.
Nelly. Fucking they
Because
paid
I
it
know
off.
the first one was a fucking slaughter of the poor. Don't shrug at me. Go on, Mike, sorry.
For months, scientists in France, this one's for you guys, could not figure out why seagulls they were tracking were travelling far inland away from their breeding colony. Eventually, they traced the seagull's path and discovered they were visiting a chip factory.
A shit factory?
Chip.
What kind of chips?
Fish and chips. Chip.
Oh, right, okay, that makes sense. Sorry, it's my turn to be a fucking Riri.
Riri. That's very politically correct. That's very woke. Go on, Mike.
Say Republican.
Republican.
Apparently, one of the first signs that a blood transfusion has been done with the wrong blood type.
Death.
Apparently, it's the patient's, quote, sense of impending doom.
No, I've seen what happens. Have you ever seen that episode of the A-Team where BA needs a blood transfusion and Murdoch's got the same blood type and he's like, I don't want that crazy fool's blood in me! And they do the blood transfusion and then BA can't stop talking in rhyme.
I did not.
Because he's got Murdoch's crazy blood in him. That's what happens. Obviously, you take on the characteristics of the person whose blood.
Well, it's interesting that I once read a tale that there was a young Hitler Youth soldier who was shot. The American medics came up to him and said, right, we're going to give you a blood transfusion. And he turned around and said, well, can you guarantee that blood is not Jewish blood? And they went, well, no, we can't. It just comes from donors. He said, I'd rather die. You know, this week in Britain, in our UK, there was an elderly man in a wheelchair who desperately needed a blood transfusion, and he would not receive it from a not British doctor.
Well, I hope he's dead.
That was my thought.
Anyway, next fact. Come on, we're so close.
In 1511, protesters in Brussels demonstrated against the government by filling the city with dozens of pornographic snowmen.
Nice.
I hope Coach Dave didn't see it.
What a prick.
Another reason to stare at my 12-year-old's groinal area.
And my own.
In Ecuador, people burn straw effigies of irritating people on the night of December the 31st to symbolically move on from the past. Politicians are particularly popular.
There'd be a lot of you, wouldn't
Yeah,
there?
there would.
You go to work, you're like, why has everyone made me? Could at least one of you done Frank?
But you know what? I love it. Because I know who mine would be made of.
Well, Gandhi.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, maybe. JFK possibly too, yeah. Who could, Malcolm X. Who knows?
Any brother.
No. All I'm saying is the peaceful get shot first, Mike.
That is true.
Not the warmongers.
Do you know what? No, I don't know if I should say this. Right, okay. I was unloading the van in Birmingham somewhere, Smethwick, and a POC, a person of colour, approached me and was like, alright man. And I was like, alright brother.
You went for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, well that's what I thought to myself. Who do you think you are, Hulk Hogan, you prick? But I was thinking afterwards, would you have said alright brother if he wasn't a person of colour? Like, why did I suddenly think I had to be all like, alright brother?
Did you say it like that or?
No, I was like, alright brother. Well, I suppose I was trying to like be like Birmingham and not be like, I don't want him to smell the out of town nerdy. Because I had a headphone in listening to a Star Trek podcast at the time. So
But he's gone full Star Trek. You'll be a communist yet, Gaz.
make it so.
Well, make you be a communist.
Fuck them. Comic pricks. Check under the bed. See if there's a red.
You got that anti-aircraft gun in your back garden.
Check the stairs, they could be there.
Oh, loose lips sink ships.
Sorry, we've completely derailed our
Yeah,
own podcast.
that's fact.
You're
That's
wasted.
Me? Me?
Not me, no, I'm fine.
Perfectly fine.
Fucking high as a kite. Sorry, Mike, fucking high. It must be so frustrating sitting in a room with us two fucking idiots every week.
That's why Mike should have been the host. He's let us two ramble on and then cuts in.
For every bottle of Prosecco produced, it is estimated that 4.4 kilograms of Italian hillside is eroded and lost.
Oh, that's a shitter. There's a lot of Prosecco out nowadays.
Oh.
Mind you, ain't in Britain, is it? It's in Italy. It's
No,
alright.
they love it over here, it's very popular.
It is. We
I
like
like a
it.
Prosecco.
Oh no, I don't
gonna
do
lie.
mine.
Right then, was that the fucked up facts?
Yeah, that's it. So,
Ben.
in hindsight, Ouija boards are bollocks.
Yep.
I've been Ben. Don't drink the flavour aid. Don't join a cult.
I've been Gaz. Free Biff Tannen. Good night.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.